Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
I want people to believe in me, and I want people to believe in me when they taste my beer. That's what it's about.
You mean you laid underneath it and tried to put his tongue up the bung?
I like to actually scoop up the yeast and look at it.
7 o'clock came real early that next morning.
Yeah, man. Thanks for dumbing that down for us. You did an awesome job. It's all about food and beer.
Punch me in the junk.
Man, that thing was thick.
The point is just beat it like it's your dick.
I like to smell it afterwards.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
Yeah. Bring your body armor.
I ran in my junk once on a ball valve in a kettle.
That's a true happy ending.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Justin Crosley. I'll be your host today. And for a little while, I think.
Nice.
Back off the road.
Right.
Somebody lock that door before Beardy comes back in.
Hey, guys, I'm here.
He's late.
Oh, shit.
So too late. Guess I'll turn his mic on after all.
Turn mine on, too.
Hey.
You're good.
I'm good.
You got to push the button, Warren, on the microphone.
Everyone will figure it out eventually.
Yeah. Who's producing the show?
I don't know. I thought it was you.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a promotion.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks for telling me.
You're welcome. You're fired.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Thanks for coming back. You're fired.
It was a short run, but I feel like it went well.
Yeah. Well, that's all right, man.
Other than the headphone problem. But,
you don't need to hear what you're already saying.
That's true.
It's pretty much what happens.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And we have an in-studio guest, right?
Yeah, his name is Tasty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm only here.
Tasty, is
a rare
it?
appearance.
Rare appearance.
Seems like a random microphone issue when I come back here.
We had this last time, didn't we?
There's, it feels like there's always something whenever I have the same problem. I think I cry about it every time. There's always something that's adjusted differently. Yeah, there's always something.
Didn't Shimke have to talk into it weirdly to get it to work?
I think it's just
not the one you're on, though. Now it's yours.
Jumping around, huh?
I think it's just how Kim talks.
Still?
Talk again real quick.
Again real quick.
Yeah.
Can you? I
Plug
feel
your
like
show.
I can hear it.
Warren, how's your motorcycle doing?
Well, it still didn't run. One of the jets on the carburetor's clogged, so I have to take that apart.
You got a new motorcycle? Or you're just trying to fix your old one?
my scooter that was sitting all summer.
I thought you were selling that thing.
Well, I haven't gotten the go-ahead to get an actual motorcycle. I figure why not get rid of that until I get approval.
That's a good point. So you're holding it against her head, over her head.
Right.
Or against her head. The back tire against her
holding
head.
the scooter against Andy's head.
Her head is
It'll
right
be the
against
mean look on his face and the knife in his hand. That'll get your attention.
Yeah, the exhaust pipe gets real hot and it burns sometimes.
Yeah, happens every time. Well, I'm back off the road. Did a little Great American Beer Festival.
It's always a good time.
Which was a very good time. And then a road trip back. I had to get the bunker back to California before the rains hit in Colorado, which didn't exactly work. I got out of Colorado before the rains hit and then got caught in torrential downpour by Utah and basically slept in a lake. Slept in a puddle.
Wow.
I thought the RV was watertight.
No. It's the opposite of watertight.
It's actually a sponge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's good that you don't have a Tempur-Pedic bed. 'Cause that would just...
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't need one. It's a water bed.
And I'm not exaggerating this time either. I was parked outside my brother's house at the time, but I was sleeping in the RV, and downpour, a couple hours. Go into the bedroom in the RV, and the mattress is just soaked, like the whole just completely soaked. But other than that, the RV did fine. Left little pieces of herself in various places. I got to Utah and realized I lost a fair chunk of the tailpipe. Just at some point, it
sounds real good now.
Nice deep. Yeah. I mean, but man, the thing just runs and runs.
Right.
Runs away from itself, apparently.
Until the engine falls out.
Yeah. But made it back safe and sound. Had a good trip. My dad joined me. He flew out to Colorado and did the road trip back. And I've discovered that during this trip and talking to my dad that I have shown him more things in his life that he's shown me.
You have done better.
He not necessarily. Well, he had never done a road trip like that before.
There you go.
I thought he would hate the RV because it is kind of a piece.
Yeah, and he gets the wet bed.
Yeah,
he loved it. He's like, "Oh, this thing is great." I thought for sure he'd be a little snobby about it, like, "Oh, is it going to make it?" And just that it's a little dirty looking and everything.
It's been through the ringer. Yeah.
He loved it. Had a great road trip.
Are you sure it's not something dads just say to their sons?
Right.
To
no.
Just be like, yeah, you're doing good.
Maybe that does happen with dads and sons. It does not happen in this case.
Oh, okay.
So no. I showed him his first national park.
Okay, wow. He's too busy injecting boner juice into his dick to get out.
Oh, my God.
He's a city slicker. He spends all his time on adult friend finder, so
this is a tree.
Yeah.
I've heard about these.
And he reminded me that I took him gambling in Vegas for his first time. When I was 17. I forgot about this. But, he had flown out for my graduation party or so, I don't know what, and we went to Vegas. And I remember I was like, well, let's go gambling. And I took him gambling when I was 17. So, guys hasn't lived as much life. Or wouldn't have lived as much life without me, I guess.
Yeah. That's great. Well, there you go, man. You're a blessing in disguise. The boner man.
Yeah.
How's he doing with the ladies?
He's doing fine.
Didn't he get married or something? I forget. It's been a while since we've had a dad update.
He did, and then it might have gotten annulled real quick after. I forget.
Was this the Brazilian?
No, that one. That one was real crazy, and luckily he noticed that before it got to wedding day with that one. There was another one he had married, but I think you've gotten an update since then. He's had a few move-ins and
move-outs.
Yeah.
All right, God bless. Man.
And now he's got another one. I think he's now dating his age, though. He said, which could be a change for him. Yeah,
we all come to terms with it
within his age.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not functioning everywhere anymore. I didn't ask, and so maybe that's why he's like, oh, fuck it, I might as well date my age.
Right.
I don't really know.
That way the expectations are out there.
Yeah. Right.
It's not like, oh, we have to have a conversation. They probably just assume that it's not going to happen all the time. And,
right.
And we're fine with it because reruns of Matlock are on.
It makes it easy. Yeah. Followed by MASH.
I should have dated
both
older
of which
men.
I love. See?
It's my jam.
So we had a nice trip. And
see you next fall.
And then we got back to California and jumped on a flight back home. So made it safe and sound. Today's show is brought to you by the good folks at More Beer, and they've teamed up with the great John Palmer to make 27 beer kits, all based on recipes found in brewing classic styles, written by John Palmer and Jamil Zainasheff. The kits are true to style, and all are within the BJCP guidelines, enabling them to be easily entered into that upcoming competition. Buy 2 kits and get fast and free shipping from More Beer. And thank them while you're over there for supporting this program like they've always done. All right. On today's show, we've got Adroit Theory Brewing Company. Mark Osborne is joining us. And they do a lot of crazy beers. I was reading through a small brewery, they are. And in their time open, which I think is relatively short, have brewed something like over 600 different beer styles.
Whoa.
Which is a lot of different beers. Maybe not beer styles, different beers.
Different
I should
beers.
say.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
So we're going to try at least 4 of them today. We'll be talking to Adroit Theory and learning about the different things that they do. They like to put different adjuncts in beer. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I know one that we've got tonight is a porter that has, I think, like Oreo cookies in it or something.
Okay.
And we've got an Imperial Stout, and we've got a pale. We got some good stuff.
It's like a home brewer's brewery.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
And we'll find out. But it definitely seems like that from the notes that I have and the different beers that they're doing.
Okay, awesome.
So we'll get to try that.
Sounds good. You said pale ale, and
I'm probably lying.
Instantly, I was there.
Yeah, I'm probably lying about a pale ale.
It's a pale ale, but with a bunch of hops and more alcohol.
Yeah.
It's more bitter, it's hazy, and it resembles an IPA.
It's a quadruple pale ale, actually.
Yeah.
I'm drinking the, and I'm going to guess that Tasty's doing the same beer.
No.
The Founders Pale Lager.
No, I'm having the Maui Wowie.
Oh, same color, same SRM over here. I'm enjoying the Pale Lager. It's a nice beer.
Awesome.
It doesn't say pale. I think it even says Pale Ale Lager. It's a weird name.
What?
Don't quote me on that. I'm probably wrong about that, too. All right, but we do have a good show for you today, and it should be a good time. Anything exciting happened while I was gone? There was only, one show or something? I wasn't gone that long.
Right, because we had some off weeks.
Yeah, we had 2 off weeks in a row.
Yeah, so you might have missed this one.
That's nice. Anything exciting around here?
No, the Rare Bear 5th anniversary was this past weekend.
Did you go?
I tried.
Oh.
But
you didn't.
because we just kind of got off on the wrong foot of the day, with nap schedules for the kid. And then we're like running errands, picking up wine in Berkeley, as parents do these days. And then we look on the tickets, and it's like basically the doors are closing at 6. Like, we're not going to let any more people in at 6 o'clock. And we get into Berkeley at like 5:49, and I'm like, there's no way we're gonna make it.
We know those guys, right? You could have gone in for the after party. You could have.
I thought about it. I was like, I don't know. I always feel weird about it, especially with Alex, because Alex is kind of so aloof sometimes. I don't know if I'm putting him out and he's being real nice, or he just doesn't really care and what he's saying is true.
I think everything Alex says is true. He's one of the nicest guys
You're
ever.
putting too much attention on what other people think.
I know!
Bust in there. If they go like, who the hell does he think he is getting in here for the after party? I already know that guy. That's their problem, not yours.
Right.
True.
Right. They'll call the police. You'll get the message.
Right.
It's a good point.
So there was an event that I didn't make it to, but I did try, and I feel like that is really the point.
You're getting somewhere.
It's on your agenda.
Yeah. I got there for an hour, actually.
Oh, nice.
And I had to go do some work.
Yeah.
But I went there for a little bit, tried some good beer.
They had a dunk tank.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of guys. Moscow and Jay did it.
Nice.
Now, Moscow was funny because he did it, and he this is like half joke with Moscow in a really good way. In this case, he wore his "Make America Great Again" hat.
Of course, he has.
He had
one.
the full-on red hat. That's what everybody said was like whether it's a joke or not, but he has
But
one.
he paid actual human dollars for it.
But he knew his audience well and wore it because you're supposed to taunt people when you're in the dunk tank.
Berkeley.
And he wore that in Berkeley. It was great. People thought it was funny, and then of course bought more tickets for the charity to dunk the kid.
That's good.
In his "Make America Great" hat. I thought that was pretty.
Haven't
hilarious.
seen him since, though. Oddly enough. Not sure what happened to him after Saturday.
We had full boxes of beer that were unopened. We have no idea if he made it back.
Yes, we must not be doing well.
Yeah.
I was the only BN member that I saw throwing balls at Moscow that missed. I missed.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, bummer.
I even stunk him.
But yeah, even Blindy over there stunk him.
I couldn't even see the target. And
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he's a real athlete.
I did hit Moscow in the head and knock him out, and he fell in.
But he
I didn't
fell
actually
in.
Yeah, he fell in.
Good strategy.
Yeah. He wasn't told how to get him in the tank.
Right.
So the Rare Barrel Party, happy anniversary to them. 5 years for those guys. That was a good time. All right. Nothing else? Baby's okay? Baby Alice is alive and well.
Baby's great,
and
man. Yeah, we're.
You haven't done anything too stupid to hurt her or ruin her.
No, she's learning how to sit up now on her own.
Okay.
Like she stopped learning how to crawl because she's just sitting up as a transition. So she's doing that. So she's falling down on her face a lot.
Right.
And the other day I'm sitting on the couch working, and she's on her we got those little rubber mats, like a little play area for her, and then there's the hard ground next to it. I saw her and I was like, she's a little close to the ground, so if she does fall forward, it's going to hurt. But I think she's fine, and this is how I don't know. So I don't know what to do. I'm not gonna baby the baby, right? I don't want to helicopter a parent, right?
Good call.
So I'm sitting there typing. It's me typing, and then I just hear this. It's like this sickening, literally meat dropping on the floor. And
as it was.
And she just went, her forehead just hit the hard ground. I was like, oh, God, I'm the worst parent in the entire universe.
That's fine, though, right?
I
assume.
That's the sound of learning.
I know.
Mild brain damage, I'm sure it's fine.
Well, I'm sure I was dropped on my head as a kid. You could tell.
Right.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Everyone's allowed 3 concussions, I think, in their life.
I thought it was per year.
Oh, per year? Oh, maybe.
So my dad said.
I forgot. I used to know.
She didn't go out. It's fine. So then now on, whenever she's out of her walker, she's upstairs on the carpet. So
okay.
I work upstairs a lot. But yeah, she's good, man. Took her 6-month pictures.
You feel like upstairs, up a flight of stairs is safer than...
Well, there's a gate. I had to buy a gate and
Did you put the gate at the top of the stairs or the bottom?
At the bottom to catch her, right?
That's how it didn't come with instructions.
No.
You don't want to dent the sheetrock at the bottom of the stairs.
You just have to guess. Is this a catcher or a stopper?
I got one of those, a soccer goalie, like a practice goal.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know. She's good, man.
All right.
It's working out.
She's doing all right.
Missing a few good beer events and stuff, but that's all part of the
deal. She didn't get she's never going to forgive you for missing the 5th anniversary party.
Yeah. Well, there was another beer event on Saturday. The Heretic had their AHA rally.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I had no idea.
They do every year.
That's been going on for...
Great this time. It's pretty cool. You come as a home brewer, you bring your empty fermenter. They put 5 gallons of wort in there.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. It was kind of a Schwarzbier style mash bill this year.
A dark lager kind of beer, or you can make it a black IPA if you want.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it. They give you the yeast and the wort and 4 free beers and
pat you on the
free
head.
raffle. And I don't know what they're doing in the back there, but everybody leaves happy.
I assume the wort is hopped.
But just as much you would do on the hot side, like a normal beer. It may not be dry.
And now they give you the yeast on top of that.
Yeah. Yes. White Labs, I think, donates that.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could choose ale or lager.
Yeah.
Okay. So you still have a little work left to do. You still have
you have to open it and pour.
Imagine brew days just like picking up the wort.
I was like,
across town and bringing it home.
Forget the Pico brew. That sounds really easy.
It's just once a year, though.
Yeah,
that's You're never going to hit your.
Can I show up with 12 carboys? Does Jamil
bring
care?
A friend? Yeah, bring a bunch. Each person gets one. So,
okay.
I don't understand.
Work it.
I mean, why not just wait until the beer's finished? At that point, just come with a full keg. Here, I want to just fill me up. Fill my keg up.
I'll be back in 3 weeks.
Like real beer.
I agree with you. If you're, I would do it anyway just for fun.
Yeah.
But here is a good thing about it though. Since it's an AHA rally. If you were to bring a friend who's thinking about getting into brewing, and you just go, here, I'm going to loan you my carboy.
Yeah.
We're going to make it as easy as possible. You show up at this AHA rally. You sign up for your membership. They're gonna fill it with wort and give you yeast. So really, all you have to do is go home and do that one step. Maybe try to temp control it the best you can.
Pretty well.
But I bet you're gonna end up with like some really decent beer on your first homebrew batch as a brand new home brewer. Yeah. That's a pretty cool thing.
That set that bar extraordinarily high.
Yeah. But it does get you hooked.
Know that.
It's just like golf. You get that one shot, and then you're like, I got to do this 12 more times before I realize I'm not good.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Oh, here you go. We spent a lot of money on equipment.
Great time.
Shank balls.
Well, while we're talking about the AHA, it is almost Learn to Homebrew Day, actually.
Ooh.
That's coming up really quick. In fact, Let's see. It's coming up November 3rd. So this little discussion on the AHA is brought to you by the AHA, the American Homebrewers Association. They're the organizers of Learn to Homebrew Day, which is a day dedicated to sharing the joys of homebrew with friends and family. This November 3rd, they invite you to attend a Learn to Homebrew Day event near you. Or if you're a club or you don't even have to be a club, you could host your own celebration. Visit the AHA website at homebrewersassociation.org to view a map and learn about different Homebrew Day events, as well as resources for promoting your own Learn to Homebrew Day gathering. So go to homebrewersassociation.org and click on Learn to Homebrew Day, and I'll bet you'll find something cool either near you or you can create one yourself. All right, let me get through a few other announcements, too. Announcements today are brought to you today by Drake's Brewing Company, one of my absolute favorites. And, you know, they do First Fridays this time of year. And you can bring your friends and family to Drake's Barrel House on November 2nd, starting at 4 p.m. That's their next First Friday, to celebrate Garfield Elementary School and Alameda County Community Food Bank. That's what they're fundraising for. They're hosting a block party of epic proportions to support their mission to build caring, responsible citizens and to work together to create a positive place full of hope and opportunity for every child. Proceeds from beer sales and all donations at the door go to Garfield Elementary and the ACCFB. So go check them out at Drake's Barrel House on November 2nd. All right, so for announcements, we've got some new shows out there if you haven't listened. If you're a Spanish speaker or have friends that are, we have a brand new Spanish-speaking beer podcast called Entre Cervezas. Think of Brew Strong, but for the Latin American community.
For the Latin lover in you.
Yeah, if you're a pro brewer and you're looking for some marketing tips, we've got Shine Runner Craft Marketing. So lots of new shows happening here. Also, we have an all-new all hops show in development that we're going to have our first recordings in November. I'll give you more details on that, but it is, I'm really excited about it. It is going to be a show focused on, and I'm not just talking, it's not just going to be, what hops are in your beer, and we're actually talking about from inception, from some of the scientists, from the farmers, and how hops are developed, to how they're grown, to how they're used, to the chemistry. It's really going to be a very in-depth look every episode on everybody's favorite ingredient, hops.
Sounds good.
So stay tuned in November for that. Our very first Concord Oktoberfest put on by the Brewing Network is happening this weekend, as a matter of fact. Friday the 12th and Saturday the 13th, right here outside the Hop Grenade in Toto Santos Plaza. Tickets are on sale now. You can go to ConcordOktoberfest.com. Just $25 gets you a liter of beer. It's going to get you a commemorative stein, which is a half-liter stein, and 2 pours, and then you can buy additional pours after that. We got a beer garden. Got a traditional German orchestra that's playing. We got a cover band playing for a little bit on Saturday. There's a kids area. It's an all-ages event. There's not even a tiny beer garden. There's a beer tent, but the city has allowed me to take over the entire plaza. You can just walk around freely like a normal adult with a beer in your hand.
Wow.
You could pretend you're in Las Vegas, like where that kind of shit's allowed.
Hell yeah.
So you don't even have to be crammed into the beer tent, although there'll be a lot of action and fun in there. But you can walk around with your family, with your kids, with a nice cold beer in your hand. It's supposed to be 80 degrees outside. We have rides. It's like a petting zoo. We're going to do strongman contest, costume contest if you want to dress up. I'm going to be wearing my lederhosen. It'll be exciting. Bevo refuses to dress up.
No, we talked about this. I'm going to buy a Dirndl t-shirt.
Frumpy McFrumperson over here.
Absolutely.
Like a tuxedo t-shirt.
I'm going to own it.
I'm going to have my hair in curlers, and I'm going to have my nightgown on.
I just bought a 5-pack of mom pants, so I'm just going to put... I'm
I
wear...
did just buy a 2-pack of leggings.
With free mom underwear.
Yeah. So I'll have my Oktoberfest t-shirt on, my Dirndl shirt.
My
I'm gonna
German
have
flags.
amazing
Crocs.
boobs that day.
Because they're painted on the shirt.
Exactly.
Don't get too excited,
Yeah,
Tasty.
no, exactly.
All right. So go to ConcordOktoberfest.com and come join us. It's our very first year doing this Oktoberfest, and I'm excited about it. It should be a good time. It's this Friday and Saturday. Friday, it's from 6 to 9, and Saturday, it's from noon to 6. Hey, do your Amazon shopping through us if you would. Just click the Amazon link on our homepage. You can bookmark it. And then if you do all your Amazon shopping, you don't pay any more, and it's a great way to support the Brewing Network. So just click on the link on our homepage every time you go to Amazon. And thank you for those of you who do that. With the holiday season coming up, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of shopping going on.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just an easy way to help support your favorite beer network, or this one too. That would be good. Nobody caught that. So subscribe and join the BN Army. You can click on the donate button. For as little as $2 a month, you're entered into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway. They give away $100 to one of our lucky BN Army members every month. The more you donate, the more you're entered to win, and we do that every month. So that's a great way to support us too. Okay. You can get updates and other information over on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Send your feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. Send show ideas over to bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. That's Bevo with 2 E's. And she's always working to get things booked and put shows on here. So
that's true.
Don't send her shit ideas either.
Nope.
I have an idea for you to have a show just about ideas.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've sent this in 4 times and no one's written back.
No,
I don't know why.
they've come in. We're booked through January, I think.
There we go. There's this great new brewery down the block. It's a homeless guy, but he has a party pig and he brews every day. You should interview them.
It's called Fermunda Brewing.
Yeah. Okay. Twitter game?
Sure. Why not?
Twitter game is brought to you today by Neshaminy Creek Brewing, and they've been on the Philly beer scene since 2012. They've won a whole bunch of awards, including Brewery of the Year. They've won for their Vienna-style lager. They've won for their smoked lager and several others. And now they've got a large, expanded, and renovated tap room with 24 beers on tap, 18 of which are all rotating and seasonal limited beers. Variety of beer styles from hoppy double IPAs to sessionable and poundable lagers to oak fermented saisons and sour beers. A little bit of everything. Free brewery tours on Saturdays. Go check them out at NeshaminyCreekBrewing.com or visit them when you're in Philly. All right, what's our Twitter game?
Well, there's a lot of talk about beer styles, and some people like certain beer styles, and some people have more discerning palates.
People are talking about that?
And who don't like... Yeah, it's a new thing. I'm learning about it. So I want to let's be positive today on beer styles. And I want people on Twitter, don't snicker, please.
I'm positive there are sucky styles out there.
There's very serious content about to happen. Serious content alert.
Okay.
I want people to give me one positive thing about a beer style that you hate.
Okay, positive thing about a beer style you hate.
Right.
So it's like Family Feud right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Survey says,
show me produces a lot of jobs in the industry.
Yeah.
Number one answer, still gets you drunk.
Show me generates revenue for the BA. No, nobody picked that. All right, good game, JP.
Oh, thanks. We'll see. I don't know.
We will see.
Hey, Justin's being positive.
Yeah.
We're trying it all on.
About something you...
Something I...
shit.
One thing I like about the Twitter game. That idea.
Put me on a shelf at the grocery store because I just got roasted.
All right. Let's do some feedback. Feedback's brought to you today by the Beer Law Center. Go to beerlawcenter.com and check it out. They can take care of your trademark like they do mine, or do your TTB filing, or anything in between. They're your legal spot for all things beer laws.
Ishy.
Yeah. There we go. All right, Greg writes in, hey guys, it's a little past due, but I had to let you know how much I appreciate the Brewing Network and all the information content you provided over the years. Found you guys after researching everything I could to prepare for my first batch back in 2016, and I've been hooked ever since, going back through all the years to pull any and all info I can from your shows. I contribute a large part of what I've learned from you all, and this year at NHC, I ended up walking away with 2 golds for American Lager and International Pale Lager, which also allowed me to win the Ninkasi Award, he says.
There you go.
Well, congrats for not being wheelchair
Nice work.
bound. That's pretty good.
He says, I'm still blown away and humbled, but since I don't belong to a homebrew club, my only regret is that I didn't list the BN as my club.
No, I take all the claps back.
Yeah, that's how cool would that have been if the Ninkasi guy was up there with the BN club on there?
What would that have done to our club ranking?
Right.
Good question.
I don't know.
I think we were pretty far out of it because we've now discouraged that sort of behavior, but... It would have been great if one guy then made us win the thing. That would have been fantastic. Anyway, he does say thanks again. Appreciate all you guys do, and look forward to stopping in for a live taping of the session sometime soon.
Oh, love to have you.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah. Anybody can come on into the Hop Grenade on Mondays where we do this whole thing.
Bring some lager.
What was his name again? Young? Was his last name Young or something? What was his name?
Well, I don't want to give away everything. Yeah, Greg Young.
Greg Young.
Yeah, there you go. Now he's going to get stalked.
What was his social number?
Yeah, I think it's 409. All right, Ben writes in. He wants an alumni update. He says, through the years, there have been so many personalities on he's in capitals, he says, the Sunday session.
Oh.
Whoa.
How about a reach out or around to get in touch and update? Obituaries included. Now, he asked for this to be like a long segment on some other show, but I can do this right now.
Yeah, I read that. I'm like, this is going to take 5 minutes. Don't worry about it.
Daniela, she was on the show not too long ago. I see her a couple times a year still. She is married with a wonderful child and living in Munich, the fatherland, basically. Doing great and happy as can be. He says, this one says, Sam, alive, hopefully. I actually haven't seen Sam in a little while. Okay, as Bevo says, he's alive. He is now a small business owner. He took over the family business and is still married and has one child.
And we are hella busy.
Yeah. Other than that, he's still basically Sammy the douche.
Oh, my God. He's literally no different, except now he sleeps less and possibly drinks more.
He's a self-employed douche.
It's true.
Bub, otherwise known as Boob. If you're a Daniela fan, you'd know that. I saw Bub at the Craft Brewers Conference back in April. Hadn't seen him in years. Seems to be doing fine living in Tennessee. And as far as I could tell, same old Bub. We just don't hear from him very much on the show. But still ugly, still a little overweight, still awesome. Doc. Doc is, as far as I know, doing fine. I don't talk to him extremely frequently right now because we're both busy. He is on hiatus from the show, but I'm sure he'll be back someday. Damn fruit fly in my ear.
You got two of them in there, homie.
I think Doc sent that for you.
You got two of them.
I can ruin my beer. Wonder if anyone here will buy me a beer. Okay, Scott with the soundboard, so otherwise known as Moscow. Moscow no longer produces the show, partly due in part to that fucking soundboard. He is now the co-host and producer of the Sour Hour right here on the Brewing Network. Shat, the producer. Shat has moved on to Texas with his wife, the breadwinner in the family. He has one child, right?
Yes.
Not another one?
No, just one.
Just one.
Okay. He also works at a brewery that just, what's it called?
Bankhead Brewing.
Bankhead Brewing Company that just won their very first Great American Beer Festival medal.
There we go.
A round of applause.
I've been trying to book him on the show.
Oh, yeah?
He keeps blowing me off. So maybe Bev can
Maybe
work
I
him
should
over,
try.
but yeah.
Well, and with them, I won't accept a phoner. They got to come here.
Right.
So I'm not doing some
I know.
bullshit phone interview with Shad.
They got to bring us out there. That's what happens.
I'll go there, yeah. So Shad is doing very well. He seemed very happy when I saw him. He also now frequently wears a Stetson hat. I have actually.
Oh, my God. I saw. He walked out into the booth dressed like that, and I just looked at him, and I was like, oh, my God, what happened to you?
Did he tip the hat and say good day?
I wish. I think he was just
Would have
too
been a
shocked
red
by
hat.
how rude I was.
I think the only photo I took. Oh yeah. Let me put it on the camera for the viewers here. Do you got my camera working?
Yeah, you're on.
This is the only photo I took at the Great American Beer Festival, and it was because it was Shat and it was too good to be true.
Get a little closer.
Get a little closer.
Does he have spurs also? Is he just
that's
like
good.
clanking around?
So this is the new
Like
Shat.
Roberto?
Take a look at that, will you? I mean,
Holy
he's wearing, if you're listening via podcast,
shit.
if you go to our live stream page, actually, I think it's streaming on Facebook too. You might get to see the photo we're showing. But, that's not just cowboy garb. It's like expensive stuff. He went to.
Well, and his like shoes are like ranch boots. They're not cowboy boots, but they're like
he got the dark, thick denim. He got the ranch boots. He's got a full-on like Stetson hat.
Which I will say, he's not a tan. He's not a fall. It should be like a black.
Oh yeah, jet black.
Yeah, or a darker brown.
I don't know. I don't know if he could pull off the black. He's not that tough, you know.
That's a strange look for the kid who smoked joints and listened to fucking reggae on our way to the Monterey fucking beer festival 8 years
it's
ago.
a long way from Connecticut.
You know, I was talking to Randy the Mexican about Shad, and he made an astute observation which surprised me.
What?
Can they still be friends?
They are still friends.
Oh, okay.
And it surprised me because he was spot on, and that is Chad's a chameleon. He just, I'm not saying he's like a patsy or a follower.
No,
I'm
he
saying
adapts.
he just kind of, wherever he's with, he just kind of adapts. So he was like a reggae sales guy, by the way, when he moved in with me. And next thing you know, he's a brewer. You know, he gets in with all the brewers. Then he goes to Texas, he's a Texan. He's just he just does that. So I'm not entirely surprised, is what I'm saying.
All right.
Okay, he's listing the next one as Mustafa, but I'm pretty sure he means Mufasa. Just saw Mufasa at the Great American Beer Festival. We talked about him coming back on the show soon. Same old guy doing his thing. I don't believe he works for BJ's anymore, but he's doing some other beer stuff. Push Eject. Our long-lost friend, Push Eject. Push Eject left the company a little over... Oh, is it that long ago now?
Maybe 2
It
years.
was like,
telling me 3 years.
It was like
No.
right after Baltimore NHC, so maybe 2 years.
That's a couple of years.
I think 2 years.
At least
sure.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, the BN is not a cash cow. Push Eject is a talented man, and I do believe that through the BN, he got some other video and audio gigs, and he just had to move on. It was coming up with time to start making sure he was putting away for his kids' tuition, and because everybody who listens doesn't donate... Oh, God, you fuckers. He could no longer afford to work for the BN. So, but he's alive and well and happy as Push always was, and just doing other things.
Yeah, we owe him a lot for getting us started too. He was great.
Oh boy, did he!
When there
help
wasn't
this
any
company.
money, and he worked for no money.
That's right. He helped this company like you couldn't believe. I don't know who these next people are. The principal and his ex-wife?
That's Andy and Kim Wood.
That's Andy and Kim.
Oh, Andy and Kim Wood. They're doing great. They haven't changed one bit, just that they don't call in anymore. And that's probably a good thing for their marriage.
Because he's the principal.
He's like a superintendent of instruction or something.
Right.
I don't understand
All
the
students
ex-wife part.
It was in parentheses, I think.
Oh, it was.
He's
He's in parentheses. Like, is it his ex-wife? I
Well,
see,
like,
yeah.
for example, Andy posted on Facebook a recording of him messing with a telemarketer in a New Zealand accent.
Oh, so good.
But being real positive at the same time about it, and it was like... You know, it was
You're
just
doing great.
So they're doing the same things
they're
they
doing
always
the same
did.
shit. And you know what was
just
what
not on air.
Struck me as super clever about the whole thing. Like, you know, whatever, you're just messing with a telemarketer. But at one point, you know, the guy goes, "Where are you from?" He goes, "New Zealand, but I've been here for a while." And the guy says, "Oh, you sounded like that," or something like that. And he goes, "Oh, good, because I thought I was starting to lose my accent." Right. Which is on the fly covering for the fact that he has a terrible accent.
Right.
And it's like that's the moment to unpack in that. That's the brilliance of Andy Wood.
Andy Wood's hilarious. And so is Kim. So they're doing fine. I'm sure you'll hear from them. Or if you show up at any BN events, they often come to those as well. So check it out. And then what happened to Drunk of the Week? We eliminated Drunk of the Week basically after years of
abuse.
Yeah, just too many dud phone calls in the end is what it was.
Abuse. It became painful.
I was going to say it became that night when you're out with your friends, but you're the sober one and you're trying to corral them.
Yeah. And we had, I think,
Which I do
less
enough at home.
crazy listeners calling to make it exciting for us, too.
Yeah, if you're not urinating on your spouse, I don't want to hear from you.
Exactly.
Like, that's where the bar is.
The bar had gotten set, and then it was just a bunch of like, well, I'm drunk.
I've chugged 4 Imperial Stouts. I'll do a 5th one. Oh, don't threaten me with a good time, dude. That sounds great.
Right.
Whatever happened to Sarah 36C?
Good question. Good question.
Wow. That's what happens when you get rid of
Haven't
Drunk of the
seen
Week.
those. I mean, her in a while. So I don't know.
Well, she's not married anymore.
Oh, is that the update on that one?
Oh, tasting notes.
I hope that wasn't our fault.
No.
was fully her fault.
She found that she was going complete opposite direction on the gender side.
Oh, that a girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I wish that happened on the air.
Door swing.
Why can't we get more of that?
That happened on the air. Just the what did you do? It just hits her like a.
And then she can't resist Bevo and just chasing her around the room.
I forgot about her. There's a lot of people that I forgot about.
There have been.
It's just sad, I guess.
You know you're married, right?
Who is? Talking to Beth,
you,
right?
Never mind.
No. What are these photos for?
There's been a lot of fun folks on the air over the years, and hopefully more to come.
Did they forget any? Did you guys remember anybody that they didn't mention?
Oh, gosh, there's
on the show.
There's plenty.
There must be a lot more than that.
There's plenty.
He didn't ask about Nate Smith.
Maybe
that's kind of weird.
Maybe I will take his advice. Yeah, right.
The nicest one of us.
Maybe I will take his advice about a longer segment and do an actual reminisce with these folks. Get as many of them on to say hi, and then even cover some of the other ones. There are also some deceased ones.
Really?
Yeah, that I know of. I can't remember now, but I'm sure we did like long memorials for them on the show. I can remember doing them. So maybe I'll take your advice, and maybe around the new year or something, we'll do a catch-up show.
Get ready, Bev.
It'll be fun.
Just remember Dead Dads, and then there was a fallen soldier one year at the BNAs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right, I'm going to skip the last one for now.
Okay.
The last two. They're both about New England IPA. Of course, we never get through a hazy or through a feedback anymore without some hazy beer references.
Right.
Nor do we get through a show, for that matter. But this last one I found interesting. It's just really long, but the gist of it is that he wanted to discuss kind of the hows and whys a New England IPA came out. Like why did they even...
How did we get here?
Yeah. And I thought he gave some decent history and feedback.
I think so, too.
If somebody reminds me to do it at the end of the show... Here, I'm going to put it in there right now. Actually, I'm going to write it down.
Oh, first of all...
On the fly.
First of all, let's relax a little bit about the producing of
Pretty
the show.
profound.
Because I think we have a little time at the end of the show anyway. So
okay.
So we'll do that.
That's cool. And I do want to point out for people who send hate mail about any IPAs and whatever, we hardly bring them up organically on the show. They are brought up by mostly feedback and then guests on the show. So
who bring them, of course. Yeah.
So we don't like specifically Warren and I.
Right.
People get mad at us. People email me about how fucking annoying it is.
Shut up about it.
Don't bring it up. The fact that you brought it up, now I have to talk about it. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
Just don't bring it up.
Just let me say it, and then you shut up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
All right, I'll tell you what, listeners.
Tell me. Oh, listeners. Sorry.
Live listeners. It might not work. If we get $50 in donations tonight, I will not allow JP to comment on the New England IPA section at the end of the program. So you'll get a full New England IPA segment without input from JP.
Does that come? Do I get the $50?
No.
Then what's the incentive to be quiet?
Well, you can talk all you want. I'll just turn off your microphone.
I'll scream it. And the yeast was at the bottom.
I was trying to get the listeners what they want.
That means me getting to shut up is worth more.
Oh yeah, if you double it, if it's $100, then neither Beardy nor JP. It'll just be me and good old Tasty chiming in on the
Tasterino, little Tasterino, Tasteroni.
Let's see
another episode of What's Up, Tasty?
Let's see it happen.
What's up, Tasty? Well, I like people getting paid for shutting up. And that's What's Up, Tasty.
All right. I have to get us to a break so we can get to our guest. We have a great guest planned for you. So real quick, just go download the Beersmith homebrewing software. Go to beersmith.com and check it out. You get a free 21-day trial. They've got their latest version. It's Beersmith 3 that's out there now, which has support for mead, wine, and cider recipes for the first time ever. There's a water profile tool that helps you, that's built right into the recipe builder. There's a mash pH estimation and adjustment tool built into the recipe builder. New support for hop whirlpool editions, which, is all the rage, of course, including time and temperature for each item. A completely revised database, which has new hops, malts, fruits, juices, honey, and a style guide for mead, wine, and cider. All sorts of things. And a recipe database with over 700,000 recipes at this point. Go to beersmith.com and get your free 21-day trial. You won't be disappointed, and if you are, you're an idiot. But also, it won't cost you any money. So
you probably make bad beer beer so bad that it's clouded your brain worms.
Yeah.
I'm giving $50 now.
Yeah, we got our first 50. All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, Adroit Theory Brewing Company is on the program. We've got some beers ready to taste, and we're going to have a good time. So hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be back after this.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
First Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring Monk's Blood. Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
You're tuned into The Session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right, welcome back to the program. Thanks for sticking with us. Today's segment is brought to you, this segment is brought to you by craftbeer.com, celebrating the vast and varied landscape of American craft beer. Visit craftbeer.com's beer travel section to find your next beercation destination. Go to craftbeer.com. All right, as promised, our guest should be on the line with us. We've got Adroit Theory Brewing Company and Mark Osborne. Are you with us?
Hey, I'm here. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Nice to speak with you. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Good.
A little late on the East Coast, but you guys seem to be having a pretty good time over there.
We are. Yeah, that's always the problem with the phone interviews that are outside of California. But we get yelled at if we don't get enough of you East Coasters on the show.
It's true.
So, hey, Mark, will you do me a favor and just kill whatever audio you got going on your computer there? We get a little echo.
All right.
Yeah. You'll be able to listen to yourself later when I post this and add all the ways we made fun of you. Is that all right? Okay. So,
can you hear us?
Adroit Theory Brewing Company. Where are you guys from, and how long you been open?
We are in Purcellville, Virginia, which is about an hour outside of D.C.
Okay.
And we opened in 2014.
Got it. Sorry, I have to check again. Do you still have the show playing in the background?
I might. Give me 1 second.
That's all right. Thank you.
My bad.
I'll get yelled at, man. I'll get yelled at for weeks about how the audio had that delay in it.
Man, the Brewing Network used to be good, but they went down. Their quality's downhill.
Yeah, my bad. It's like when people call in on a radio show.
Exactly.
Turn the radio off, man.
Exactly.
No worries, man.
All right. I can still hear it, though. Do you think you managed to find that browser?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think we're good.
I didn't hear it the last time you talked.
Okay, now we're good? All right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're okay. Folks at home, if you want to play along, you can go to adroit-theory.com and check out the website and look at all the beers that they have. How long have you guys been open?
So we opened in January of 2014, so coming up on 5 years.
Okay, very nice. And were you a home brewer before this?
No.
You were not? Were you a pro brewer before this gig?
No. This is my first foray into the brewing industry.
How did that happen? I don't think we've interviewed people who said no, they weren't into beer at all beforehand.
Well, I wasn't in the industry. I was kind of like, I guess I don't want to presume, but kind of like you guys, like a fan first, like. The person that always went to festivals and, went on, beer vacations and traveled around visiting all the different breweries and beer cruises and, this whole lifestyle of enjoying craft beer. And, I saw 40 on the horizon coming up quick. And I decided that if I was going to, do something different, for the second phase of my life, that I should do something that I loved. And I thought to myself, what do I love? I love craft beer. So, that seed was planted. And then, of course, you work hard to learn everything that you don't know. And then you start a business and you only know maybe 10% of what you should know.
Right.
But, so far so good.
So without being a home brewer, a lot of times we hear I was a home brewer and everybody loved my beer and they all told me I should do it. What gave you the confidence or maybe more specifically the skills to end up opening a brewery? Did you go to school for it or?
I did take, classes at Siebel and, I did a lot of reading and my own research. But at the end of the day, I've started other businesses before, so that wasn't, intimidating to me. And, Virginia, at least when we opened, there were some holes in the marketplace for, what we were trying to do. And so it just seemed like a natural opportunity that if I didn't do it, somebody else would. I met my brewer and, we got started.
Got it. What size brewery did you open with?
That we opened with?
Yeah.
A half barrel.
Okay. So a nano brewery
Me too.
there.
That's what I do.
Yeah. So you were brewing commercially and selling your beer a half barrel at a time when you started?
That is correct.
Wow.
In all fairness, we also contract brew.
Okay.
And did, and we still do to this day.
Okay.
But anything that we'd sell at the tasting room, we were literally brewing one keg at a time and putting it on draft and selling it and, brewing the next one. We wore that poor half barrel system out.
What was your upgrade from that? What do you have now?
We have a 10 barrel now.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of a jump, but still not big enough to support us. So again, we continue to contract brew, and that's primarily what we send out for distribution.
Now, let me ask this, if you don't mind. This is a business question for our listeners out there, because we've talked about nano breweries before. One of the other shows we do here with Jamil Zainasheff, and he was always kind of saying, hey, don't do the nano thing, and the reason is you just can't make enough capital then to grow. Were you able to capitalize your next phase, your growth, through the nano and some contract brewing, or did you have to recapitalize the company for that growth with investment?
No, we pay as we go.
Okay.
And no, absolutely not. I think the advantage of starting small is that, number one, is you can figure out, what types of beers that you want to make and get feedback, instantaneously, brewing. Like right now we brew, 90 barrel batches, and, that's a lot of beer.
That is a lot of beer, yeah.
To sell. in any one thing, then, selling 1 or 2 kegs of something, is a piece of cake. So it gave us an opportunity to experiment, gave us an opportunity to figure out exactly what we wanted to do conceptually and get feedback, from our customers. Now the rub is that we sold out of beer on a regular and routine basis. And I remember some of the early days at the brewery, people would come and they'd be like, well, we'd like to try your beers. And we'd be like, well, we hope you like stout because
that's all we have left.
That's what we got.
Right.
So there's some challenges in that regards, but, people want what they can't have. And the more you don't have beer, the more they want it. And the lines got longer and longer and longer. Eventually we were able to, to upgrade. But yeah, I would be very hesitant unless, again, you came from some pedigree of some other brewery that had, you knew exactly what you were doing and, what your brewery was going to be. But for somebody that maybe didn't, purchasing a 30-barrel system or larger and just making beer, I think it's much better to do it, a little one step at a time.
Now, is it safe to say that any beer that moves on to the big system, to the contract system, has to go through your small system first so that you do get to experiment like that?
I think at the beginning, yes. For the first, 3-4 years, everything was piloted, tested, and what have you. At this stage, no. We feel pretty confident of what we're doing and conceptually, the recipes and the revisions that we might want to make. So, no, we'll usually do like a 60-barrel batch of something maybe that we haven't brewed before. But the whole concept is that everything's new. Like we don't have a flagship. We don't have recurring beers other than, maybe once a year, if that. So everything is fairly new. But no, we don't do, small batch pilot for everything. We do it for some, but
okay.
Not so much.
That makes sense. Well, and to that end, I'm reading in my notes. I find this number that you chose interesting too. My notes say that you've brewed over 666 beers in 4.5 years.
That was just coincidence.
Just coincidence. Yeah.
We're a metal themed brewery, so
right.
There is that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do crank out quite a bit of beer. Not as much as we did, in the early stages where it was, we're brewing, half barrel, 10 times a week, where you could really experiment. But we still do crank out quite a bit. We release 3 or 4 new beers at our tasting room every single week, like clockwork. And, for things that we send out for distribution, we send out 2 or sometimes 3 per month.
Okay.
Again, like clockwork. Again, new beers. And again, we also revisit beers and we do rebrew beers that have, that we have liked and wanted to experiment with further, but the whole concept is new.
Are you self-distributed?
We self-distribute in Virginia and Maryland, and then we send beer out to Vor, which is in Washington State, and they ship direct to consumer. So that's like how you could get it in California, as well as other states.
So you don't have to deal with distributors complaining about having 666 different beers.
Right. No, well, my wife runs our distribution company, and she will tell me, when we do too many. But
right.
Well, I don't know. It's like it's the new model, like
it
people,
is
not just the customers, the retailers. Like, what's new? What's new? What's new? And like, oh, I happen to have a little bit of this. Oh no, we've already had that.
Right. That's a good point. Although it's not just like that. What an annoying thing for a beer producer is that it's largely like that. Our bar here, the Hop Grenade's like that. We like to rotate our beers all the time. But at the same time, when we or our customers get one that they love, we want that one back over and over again, too.
Right.
So we're a pain in the ass is what I'm saying. If on one hand, we say to you, yeah, keep doing all these new beers because that's what everybody wants. And then at the same time, in the same conversation, we'll also say, but how's that double IPA coming along? You got that back for us yet?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't the one that I liked always on?
Yeah. So.
And then once it is on, nobody buys it.
Right. Right. Oh, what a fickle business. Okay. Well, we've got a couple of your beers in our glass right now, and I thought we'd start talking about that. The first one we have is your Antithesis, which is, I've got a whole description here. Island Sunset Goes. But I'd like you to describe it to us, if you don't mind, while we have a sip and get to talk about it with you.
Sure. So one of the things we started last year was what we called our antithesis line. For the first 3 years we were in business, we didn't make beers below 7%. They're all big boozy beers, but we decided, sometimes you actually just need to have a beer that you can crush or have more than one of. So we developed our antithesis line. This is a 3.9% Goza that falls right into that, category. It is classically brewed conceptually, at least, the base beer. But we heavily adjunct this series with fruit, in this case, mango, pomegranate, vanilla, something else. And we have different grades. This is basically like the regular grade, and then we have like a doubled version and then a tripled version in terms of the amount of additional fruit. Oh. It kind of takes it from just a fruity beer to a smoothie.
A smoothie, yeah. So this is the single grade.
Correct.
Because it's fruity.
It's fruity. Very. Yes, you can imagine the triples. Like you need like a spoon.
Okay. Is it now? Are you exaggerating, or is the mouthfeel and the body of it really thick like that?
It's pretty thick.
Wow.
There's also quite a bit of lactose that we add. I think we're doing like 8 pounds per barrel of lactose.
Okay.
Which is quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, the mouthfeel on this thing is huge.
It's really
thick.
Yeah.
It's already, exactly. Well, and I was kind of reading in the description that it can become a smoothie beer, and I was like, okay, well, it's a little exaggeration, but it's fruity like one. But now I see why you said that, because this is level 1.
It's a thing, but people love it because, again, the whole idea, like with this beer is we were trying to just recreate a Caribbean cocktail that you might get on a cruise ship.
Yeah,
that just tasted like the beach, more so than a beer. But people like that kind of stuff. It's fun, and it was great in the summer. We don't make this kind of stuff as much in the winter, but. It sells well. Like we invested in a slushy machine at the brewery, and we run a beer like this through it, and people love it. It's like a Slurpee.
I think that's awesome. I would have that. It is like an island cocktail. It
is a beer cocktail sort of feel to it for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's really it's nice that way. What format does all the fruit go in? Is that all purees or whole fruit or what?
Occasionally we'll do whole fruit if we can't get it in puree, but we use purees and we use concentrates. And extracts quite a bit.
Okay. That kind of gives it that sustainable, fresh fruit flavor, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and it takes the seasonality aspect out of the equation, so you can get it, year round. But
right.
Are you adding that in the fermenter during fermentation?
We have. This one that you're drinking is post fermentation. We actually added it in the bright.
Okay. All of the fruit goes in the bright on this one.
Yes.
Is there lactose?
And lots of the ones that we do. I mean, ones that we'll sell at the tasting room.
Mm-hmm. Is there lactose in this one right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Why vanilla? Because I'm looking at your list of fruits that are in there and lactose, but you also went and added the vanilla in there. And what were you going for there?
Well, to be frank, we make a ton of them without vanilla that are even sweeter and more, over the top. Fruity, but the vanilla helps balance that out. It gives it some base to build upon, and it's a complementary flavor to those fruits that are in there.
Yeah.
I think it's delicious.
I agree with that 100%. I just wouldn't have thought of it, so I'm curious how you got there. Yeah. But yeah, it is a nice balance.
Well, the vanilla would bring out with the lactose would bring out sort of an ice cream, kind of thing to it, and then the fruit on top of that comes in and makes it like a shortcake beer.
The smoothie shortcake part.
Going to complete the creaminess.
Yeah. And then just on the base beer part, I always forget this because we only talk about goes, I don't know, every couple of years here. But where does the salty part come from with it goes? Like, how does that get added? Is it a water treatment, or what is the salt?
We treat, obviously, the water for all of our beers. We do water chem on, but we add, I forget the ratio, but, a couple of pounds of, in this case, it was pink Himalaya sea salt.
Okay.
Actually directly to the boil.
Got it.
The rub with salt, as I'm sure you can imagine, is you've committed, right?
Oh, yeah.
You have to get the level right off the bat, because it could become obviously too salty. But I think we have that dialed in. It's nice. I mean, if you drink the unfruited version, I mean, it's a two style beer.
Okay.
But really, it's really just a vessel for allowing us to go crazy with fruit additions or vanilla additions or whatever it is that we're adding that particular week, to create the effect.
Got it. Also nice in this beer. Well, and then to your point, I'm going to ask both you and my co-host Tasty here this question, because like you said, you're committed when you add the salt in the boil like that. Do you think that a lot of brewers don't add it like that? They add it after fermentation so that they could do it to taste? Either one of you answer there. Go ahead, Mark.
I mean, I guess I really don't know, but I mean that makes sense. For an addition like that.
Yeah. Because it doesn't do anything through fermentation for you, does it?
No.
Okay. I mean, it seems convenient to add it in the boil. You get it all into solution and diluted as it should. But yeah, you're the one. Just when you brought it up, yeah, boy, are you committed? So, Tasty, what do you, in your experience? What do you think?
I think what Mark has done is he's obviously just didn't say, I think I'll just throw in 2 pounds. No, he probably did some side testing, right? Might have taken a Saisani he had there and added, a gram of salt to it and see what level you start tasting the salt, and you could back off from that.
Okay.
And then of course you could do like one addition, which is probably way too little, and then on the cold side you could add, you could
always go back
a little bit more salt if you want, and. A ghost is not like defined by that salt necessarily having a real salty taste like salt. So if you don't get enough, then next time you make it, you can add a little bit more.
Right, but if you get too much, though.
Well, yeah, that's the main point. You get unsalted food or drink, for sure.
Right.
You should add pepper. Come on, guys. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Got to have this.
We've done quite a few pepper beers.
Oh,
okay.
It's in the same category, like how does it scale?
Right.
And peppers are the worst because, it's a vegetable, it's a plant, and you have no idea exactly how hot that specific pepper is that you're adding, adding to the beer.
Right.
So.
I feel like you should, if you bottle this beer, it should come with little umbrellas taped to the side.
At the tasting room, we don't embrace the tropical vibes that we're pouring.
That's what I like to hear. Okay. And now we're going to shift gears a little bit here with our next beer that I have in our glass, which I'd also like you to describe for us. But we have the Destructive Construction Hazy Imperial IPA. And this one comes in pretty high. This one's a 7.9% beer, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's
Almost
kind of in our
there.
wheelhouse of beers we love cranking out, or right around, 8.5%. This is a follow-up to a beer we did earlier in the summer called Constructive Destruction. This is the sequel to that beer, but it's just an ongoing series of IPAs and double IPAs that we do. This particular one is with Comet and Mosaic and El Dorado, which I think is a nice combo because it gives you some of that tropical citrus in the nose, but then as it warms up and then as you actually drink the beer, you get that undercurrent of earthy dankness that we love. So try to straddle that balancing point. It's hazy. I mean, we do hazier beers than this one for sure. This one we were really shooting for a very, very stripped down malt bill to make it just as crushable as humanly possible, but still be, in that aromatic, citrusy camp, but then just down the hatch on the drinking side.
Yeah,
it is very aromatic. The nose is rad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I do like the addition of the Comet to those citrusy kind of really fruity hops.
Yeah,
Comet is the most underrated hop in my opinion.
And reindeer. I mean, honestly, if we're going the history of
Tis the season.
Yeah.
Beardy, is Comet like an earthy hop? Is that why it's a good addition to this?
Yeah, Warren.
The dankness that you get in the nose here is mainly from the Comet. El Dorado and Mosaic don't have anywhere close to that level of dank, deep, earthy hop character.
Okay.
And so it's just typically I don't see them combined like this very often. And I'm really enjoying the aroma on this.
I enjoy the aroma, and I'm really enjoying the aftertaste, how it fades away. It's a little. I'm not the biggest double IPA fan, so to me it's quite strong on the front of the palate, but I really enjoy how it kind of dissipates, and then to me, becomes crushable, like you're saying, Mark. Because it sort of vanishes like that, I go, oh, I'm ready for another drink already.
Yeah, more hops, please.
Another sip, yeah.
This is actually only the second beer we've ever done, at least, on a big scale that we did 0 boil additions on hops.
Really?
It's all Whirlpool or dry hop.
And a mountain of them, I'm guessing.
It was not insignificant.
Okay, yeah.
What are the IBUs on this beer?
Well, it's such so tricky, on paper, and what we say is 27.
Okay.
But it depends what calculator you use, and frankly, how long it remains in Whirlpool. And
you guys haven't sent it away.
Yeah.
Tested. Okay.
Yeah.
No, not these IPAs. I mean, because we do them every 2 weeks, and I know there's some breweries that do it, every single week and multiple of them. But for us, it's a lot. Every 2 weeks, and 2 weeks from today, there'll be another one. And then 2 weeks from there, there'll be another one. And they're all conceptually similar, but, they're different beers. And, we just, don't go to that bother.
To me, it tastes like about 45 to 50 IBUs.
Yeah, that perceived IBU.
Yeah. I mean, but that's really what matters in the lab, and what you think it is are probably the two most important things. What it says on paper is just something you need to remember for next time you make it. If you want to use more hops, you know what you used the first time.
And for 8% beer, the alcohol content is really hidden, in my opinion.
It's well balanced.
Yeah, for sure.
I do not get that.
I would not have
all,
guessed that.
Which also makes it
good fermentation,
crushable. Is that what that is? Fermentation will give you more, like if you ferment too hot or something like that, give you more fusel and...
Right, yeah.
Okay.
If you don't take care of the yeast, it's going to let you know, and a lot of the time it's going to let you know in harsh alcohol flavors.
Okay.
Not to toot our own horn, but one of the things that we've worked very hard on, and I think we're actually pretty good at, is hiding alcohol.
Okay.
As you will see with some of these bigger, boozier stouts that we make, they're actually pretty drinkable.
What's your yeast of choice for a beer like this?
English ale, 3 yeast is what we use quite a bit.
Okay.
We're a small company, so we don't have a lab. We can just completely make it our own. But it's a good yeast. This is the last generation, so it's flocked out quite a bit, a little bit clearer than some of the earlier ones. But gives you that taste. But we're always experimenting. Like I said, every 2 weeks it's a new IPA, and we change the yeast, we change the malt, we change the hops. Depending on what the concept is.
Okay. Are you able to get all the hops that you need with that method because you're changing them every batch? It's not like you're stocking up on all the ones that you need all year.
It's a constant challenge, and we're at, unfortunately, the mercy of the market, because we would love to put, Galaxy and Nelson and Vic into every beer, but we don't have any of those contracts, so we have to buy it as it's available.
Got it. I like this beer. I like both of those beers.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
I think one was a good follow-up to the other, actually.
Yeah, usually pairing, right?
Well,
yeah.
Usually I'd always put the IPAs at the end of the show. We tend to do that so we could taste everything. But it was an accident. I just thought that they looked good together. And, that was a great pairing. Yeah. I like pairing beer with beer.
That's the only way to pair beer with stuff is other beer.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, well, we've got more to talk about and more beer to try, but I got to take a quick commercial break. Can you hang out there with us, Mark?
Yep, no problem.
All right. Give us just a second, and we'll be back. In the meantime, Grog Tag is your one-stop homebrew customization shop. They have it all, from reusable beer and wine labels to durable metal signs to high-quality coasters, and everything is customizable. So get on over to grogtag.com, and with one of our, you can use one of their hundreds of templates, and they'll print it on high-quality materials and ship it out to you. It's easy. Check it all out at grogtag.com today. And if you use coupon code BNARMY, you get 10% off on your next order. So go to grogtag.com, use coupon code BNARMY, and check it out. Labels and everything you need, and they're also good guys over there that take care of us, and I think they even take care of JP, and who does that?
That's true. Nobody, to be honest with you.
So that's nice of them.
Self-care, Justin. It's the best way to go.
Self-care. I'll learn about that.
Whatever that means. Some hippie bullshit. Snort lines of turmeric while you say it.
Yeah, pretty sure I did that twice yesterday. All right, it's the session. When we come back, we'll talk more with Adroit Theory Brewing Company, and we're going to try some of the styles JP likes, believe it or not. So hang in there. It's the session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, they're amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and a Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
This is Corey King from Side Project Brewing, and you're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
All right, welcome back to the program. Hey, if you're looking for some marketing advice and help, go over to craftbrewcreative.com. They'll assure that your branding reflects the outstanding craft that you do. They take the time to understand your vision through straightforward and results-driven process. Go check them out. You get tangible results that will make you proud of your brewery brand and feel confident in your market. They do logo design, branding strategy, websites, labels, tap handles. Those are just a few things. So check them all out at craftbrewcreative.com. And since they've got such a great relationship with here at the BN, if you mention the Brewing Network, you'll get 15% off your first design and branding project. So go check them out at craftbrewcreative.com. All right, we're still on the line with Mark, and we've got more beer in front of us, Mark, but we were just talking about your bottles and labels, too, and you guys are big on your artwork over there.
Cool, yes, thank you. Yeah, we want to make sure that that the package that our beer is in is as awesome as the beer that's inside the bottle.
Yeah, the first beer we had, the second, the Destructive Construction label is rad. We're really liking it right now. It looks
cool.
good.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a 2-part series. This is the second part, but it's our little homage to Frank the Bunny Suit from Donnie Darko.
Oh, nice. I like it. And do you have an in-house artist that does this, or various people, or?
We work with a variety of artists. It's really about finding the right person for the right job. But, I'm driving that train, and, I've got an idea of what our look and feel is. And it's, the biggest challenge is getting, multiple artists over multiple years to design something that has a cohesive look and feel to it. But, I think so far so good.
Yeah, I think you're doing all right. And it's not just the artwork, too, but you guys, there seems to be stories that go along with the beers that you also put on the label. Where I I hesitate to call them descriptions, I guess is why I say that.
Right.
So talk to me about some of the verbiage that you put on here.
Well, yeah, I would say they do very little to describe what's actually in the bottle.
Right.
We kind of go on the assumption that the people that are buying our beers already pretty much know, what it is. But yeah, I mean, like I said, because it's all new, it's always new, and it's always art driven or concept driven. Like this particular beer, Destructive Construction, is the second part of a series that started with Constructive Destruction. So it's a 2-part series, and so like the text from the first bottle marries up with the text from the second bottle, even though there's a 6-month lag in between. But if you buy our bottles and you buy them regularly, you can oftentimes line them up after the fact and read the storyline as it unfolds over a series of months. But I don't know, I just find that a little bit more exciting than just we brewed this beer with Comet, we did this, we did that. I don't know, I just not really that into that. I like the idea that it's kind of like back in the day when you zip on down to the record store and buy an album, and you get home and you put the album on, and while you're listening to the album, you broke out the album cover, right? And you broke out the liner notes and all the inside artwork that went with it, and just you soaked it in while you enjoyed the art, which is kind of the concept.
So when you say that sometimes you can follow along the story over the course of several beers, have you written out the story already ahead of time, or do you just keep writing the new chapter?
A little bit of both. I mean, obviously you have to print these things in advance, and you don't know exactly sometimes how it's going to unfold. I mean, at this stage in the game, we do try to have at least something somewhat cohesive. We just the beer that preceded this Destructive Construction is called IX, which is a Dune inspired series of beers, and it's a 3-part series, and all that artwork and all that text has already been written and sent off to the printer. But other beers that are just now unfolding, we're writing them as we do them.
That's cool. A little extra.
A little layer.
Yeah.
Different layer to just, we're making beer. Here we go. You got to have a little fun that's not making beer, right?
JP, you want to try something with me?
I do.
So I noticed this because I was reading, again, we're doing the bottle of Destructive Construction, and I was reading it in my, I don't know, very calm, passive.
Your voice.
Yeah, my sissy-ass voice, basically.
Yes, right.
And then, so I'm going to read the label with how I read it.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm going to demonstrate for you, Mark, is how it fits better maybe when your audience reads it, once I pass the bottle off to JP.
Or what the author had in mind.
When
they were writing.
Yeah.
What was in the back of their, what they were playing on their headphones.
You want my Jamaican accent, then, is what you're saying.
So, here, let me just put on some Hall & Oates. No, but I'm just going to... time unravels at the base of insanity, colliding with reality to create the catastrophic spiral that derails the pathway set before us. We are mere pawns trapped in a design fault of fate where the horror of humanity only magnifies as we greet the gruesome end. This gruesome end. See, it's like a bedtime story.
I think you could have done a better Michael McDonald than that.
Can I get a sludgy guitar riff, or you just got to do this?
No, you got to do it cold. I think you'll be fine.
Like all good metal, a
That's
cappella.
Right, yeah.
no support system at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
Fuzzbox.
Let's give it a shot, JP.
Right.
Time unravels.
I didn't think you were going to sing it.
Base of insanity colliding with reality to create the catastrophe.
Now I sound like Cookie Monster.
The catastrophic spiral that derails the pathway set before us.
And then Yoda.
We mere pawns trapped in cookie design fault of fate, where cookie run out and left only with carrot.
Yeah, there, we got all of it in there for you, Mark.
It's funny.
And this is why people
Black
should...
Metal meets Yoda. I love it.
Yeah. People should have some fun with this.
Well, you got to. Otherwise, you're boring.
Yeah. I like that you're doing those things, too. We've had some great artwork in the studio before from different breweries. Not Not a lot of them, to be honest, but a handful of great ones. I still really like Jester King's artwork.
Jester King's is dope. Shady Oak is real good. Beavertown's real good.
Yeah, but people that it sounds, I guess I'm bringing that up because it sounds like you spend almost as much, if not as much time on the concept and the design and how the beer is presented as you do even developing the beer.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. I mean, we're huge fans of Jester King. Anchorage Brewing does some sick shit. But you know, I don't know. That's just my way of viewing the world, right? You know, coming from a fan perspective, I want it to look badass. And again, you might not like it. You might be corny. You might be, lyrics to some hair metal band from the 80s. I don't know, but it just, to me, I don't know. The concept is like, this is what we're doing. We never deviate from it, and we try to make an awesome package and hopefully awesome liquid. We work hard to make it be a nice fusion.
Well, so far so good, and I'll admit, if the words were hair metal from the 80s, I would have been able to do that for you myself. I would have been able to carry that for you.
No, you did a very nice job. That guttural voice works for you.
All right. So the next beer I believe that we have in our glass is the Dia de los Muertos. Which, believe it or not, was the name of one of our studios at one time here on the Brewing Network. Yeah, we had a lot of family deaths that year, so we decided to just change the name of the studio.
Jeez, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we had Dia de los Muertos. Tell us about this beer.
So this is absolutely in our wheelhouse when we're not making, fruity Caribbean cocktails and hazy IPAs. We love, big boozy stouts, and I think this one is definitely in our wheelhouse. I think on paper it's 13.7%, but in reality, maybe a hair more, but it doesn't drink that way. I mean, it's rich and decadent and thick and chewy and aromatic and delicious, but just shockingly easy to drink, even at that high ABV. The trick with stouts is on one side they can become too bitter. And we do have some stouts that fall onto the more bitter side of the equation. And then the other side is they can become too sickeningly sweet. You know what I mean? So trying to find that balance between those two elements is the trick. Yeah. And I think this one, is a really nice example.
And, you had said yourself that you guys use a lot of adjuncts, but this one is just a straight Russian Imperial Stout? No real adjuncts here?
Correct.
Okay.
And again, we do that quite a bit. Like, we make the base beer of almost all of our beers. And then what we do is we say, you know what, this is the base. You like it. You love it. It's awesome. Let's add some Oreo cookies to it. Let's do this. Let's do that. And we come out with series of a bunch of things, riffing off of the baseline. But this is the baseline, which I think is pretty solid.
And you'll use this actual recipe or beer for other beers then to expand on? Like you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, whether it's a barrel-aged version, so like this particular beer, this is not barrel-aged, this is the regular beer, but we have, barrels aging with this beer in it. But we'll also release, beers that we've doctored up, specifically, for a purpose in the tasting room, moving forward.
Got it. I think this does fall between what you had said. It not too bitter, not too sweet. It is kind of in the middle. Do you think it's... is there a lot of carbonation in this one for a Russian Imperial Stout, guys, or is that right to what's normal? I don't drink a lot of these beers.
I think it's maybe on the high, a little bit on the higher side, but I think it's still within the parameters.
Which is right there.
Yeah. But I think that helps to have it not be so, bogged down. The bitterness kind of does come through. The roasted malts aren't out of whack. It's not heavy, on the crystal malts, and so all of those kind of things combined together. But it is a good, I think, example of how carbonation does help.
Yeah.
These bigger beers like this.
And that's why I asked about if it's a little more than usual, because I often don't like them. They can be so oily, thick oil, I guess I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But I I like the effervescence of this one because I do think it helps.
Yeah, I agree.
It lifts it off the palate like that. Do you, Mark, is that something that you guys, paid attention to, whether you're a little more carbonation than usual or?
I mean, we do try to dial it in, batch by batch, and obviously it varies. Like when we do some of our barrel aging, or if we add a bunch of adjuncts to a beer that depresses, head retention. Obviously there's that, but yeah, no, absolutely. It's a balancing act, just like anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what the finishing gravity is on this beer typically?
That's a good question. To be honest, I have to look it up. I want to say 6.5 Plato, 7 Plato, somewhere right around there.
Okay.
I mean, it was a 30 to start.
Okay. Yeah, because you can definitely tell that it's on the higher side, but like you said, the with the roasted grains and the higher carbonation, it just helps make it very drinkable for being that high. Because you can tell that there's a lot of like dark caramel malts lurking in the background there.
Yeah.
Just let this thing warm up.
Yeah.
60, 62 is perfect.
I can also see how it just make a great base beer.
Oh, you can do a lot with this.
Right?
Because you can put a lot of mango in here.
Well, we are dropping a peanut butter chocolate Biscoff English tea biscuit cookie version of this beer on Friday of this week. So
wow.
There is that.
Mango would actually sound kind of good. I'm not going to lie.
Actually, mango and anything actually sounds good.
You should do that, and I'll get 10% of all royalties.
Or even just an orange. Do like a chocolate-covered orange.
Shut up, Warren. Enough with the fruit and
it's
stuff.
better than mango. Just saying.
I think they all go good with this beer. Yeah, that's nice. English ale yeast on this as well?
Actually, I think this is American 05, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I'd have to be honest with you. We brew quite a bit of beers. It's a bit of a trick to keep track of it. I'm almost positive it's 05.
Okay. Yeah, do you have to switch up yeast like that for alcohol content? Bigger beers?
I mean, there is obviously some concerns when you do, slightly bigger beers, but, we do quite a bit of step feeding, which we did on this beer.
Okay.
To get it up, to where it needs to be, because there's quite a bit of candy sugar in this beer, and we didn't want to add all of that right off the bat. We wanted to, keep it going. But 05 is pretty resilient, and but I mean, I want to almost every beer has a different yeast strain that we're using, because they're all kind of one-offs.
Are you doing the peanut butter and the cookie stouts in-house on the 10-barrel system, or do you have the most patient contract brewery in the world?
They look at us and they're like, absolutely not. We're absolutely not doing that.
Right.
We're like, okay, cool, man. So what I hear you saying is, yeah, we can do this. No, we do quite a bit. Like we'll even make beer and just bring it back in house and then doctor it up as you will. So like it's a 10-barrel brew house, but we have like 6 1-barrel. We have like 3 10-barrels. We have a 20-barrel. But we also have like 6 1-barrel. We have like 4 2-barrel. And so we have a lot more ability, like we did when we first started, when we were brewing on a half-barrel, to do all this small batch stuff that a lot of breweries can't do. Everything is, 10, 20, 30-barrel, fermenters. But we can break things off and park them in 1-barrel brights or 1-barrel fermenters or, whatever the case may be, whatever we're trying to do. It gives a lot of flexibility, which I like.
So then I have a boring logistical question for you. If you're having this brewed at a contract brewery, and what are they brewing, 90 barrels at a time, 60, 90?
Yeah.
Change a little bit. Okay.
90.
And then you want to bring it back to the brewery and kind of separate it to play with. How are you doing that? Do you have separate vessels to... You see what I mean? Like they're not just giving you a bunch of kegs when it comes out of the contract?
Sometimes they will give us... Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, it varies, as you can imagine, I'm sure. But, I mean, we will actually keg up, non-carb, non-finished beer and bring it back to our facility to do what we want to do with it if that is the case.
You would then take it from the kegs and put them back into these bright tanks?
Pump them right back into a bright tank.
Okay.
You know, so like for instance, this Oreo beer that you'll be drinking here shortly, that's exactly what we did.
Okay.
You brew a base beer, we filled the bright with Oreos and transferred it on top of it and let it sit and then kegged it back up.
Got it. I just was. I thought maybe you had bought even separate vessels to take home larger quantities of this fermented beer.
We do have, you know, like I forget what they're called, but you know, these big holding tanks, you know, that wineries use.
Yeah.
Fermenters.
The big stain, like the totes. Okay. Yeah.
Totes. That is what they're called. But anyway,
scientific
we
term.
do a little bit of that, not as much as you might think. I mean, we're very creative people, and you know, we figure out a way to skin the cat the way we want, and you know, it affords a lot of possibilities. Or we just brew it in house. You know, if it's something that we want to really monkey around with. So like we have a beer coming out next month that's brewed with marshmallow and seaweed. We learned the hard way that that's not a good beer to brew at a contract facility.
Okay. Yeah.
For obvious reasons. So, you know, we bring that in-house and we do the seaweed the way we want it. We do the marshmallow the way we want it, and everybody's happy.
Got it.
Wow.
Okay.
Let's go together, huh?
Where does seaweed and marshmallow, are they happy? What does that taste like? Seaweed and marshmallows.
Deliciousness.
Really? What
tastes like what? Like Japanese food and s'mores?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, so like umami is a real deal, right? So like umami is a thing we strive for. We're not to get off subject, but we're dropping a beer on Wednesday. It's a black IPA, which I know has fallen out of fashion, but it's delicious. But we brew it with sesame seeds, and it has that umami quality to it, right? Like while you're eating it, you're like, God damn, this tastes like soy sauce. I don't fucking get it, but I did love it. The beer I'm talking about, which is Death of Cthulhu, is the same thing, right? You've got that confectionery, sugary component, but then you inject this very much of the sea brininess with the seaweed, and it just creates this cacophony of flavors that meld together in a very shocking and weird way, in a very savory way, which was frankly the goal with that specific beer.
Okay.
How do you discover those two flavors go together?
Well, some of it is trial and error. Some of it is, good luck. And then the other part of it is, I think the best brewers are foodies at heart.
I just picture like a fat kid at the beach with their parents with like a bag of marshmallows in one hand and like rolling around in the seaweed in the other.
Yeah, like, here you go.
And then dad like looks at him or her and is like, I wonder what that would taste like together.
Some carnivorous dad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fair enough.
So I already tasted the next beer, and I have to move us to this because it's something else. We have the Black Celebration in our glass. And Bevo, do you have this beer? And you need to get in here. You need to come in here, and you need to. You're gonna lose your mind, I think. Bevo doesn't try all the beers here, Mark, but we kind of know the ones that she's gonna go nuts over. You can have a sip out of mine, but you're going to want a glass. Okay. She's going to go get a glass right now. While we're waiting for her to do that, describe to us the Black Celebration Imperial Porter.
Cool. So we sent you some beers that we don't send out for distro, right? These are tasting room only beers.
Thank you for that.
But Black Celebration is a beer we brewed. The concept is it's an Imperial Porter, which you don't taste in the version we sent you, that was brewed with maple syrup, blackstrap molasses, and black lava salt. I mean, it's a pretty solid beer. It's inspired by the Depeche Mode album, as you can imagine.
Nice, yeah.
So it's a solid beer. So it's a great candidate for a building block beer. So we thought to ourselves, well, what do we love the most? God damn, I love fucking Oreo cookies.
Yeah.
So we added a copious amount of Oreo cookies. I think there's over 1 pound per gallon of beer on this beer. And, the result is all of the nuances of this beer went away because it tastes like a liquid Oreo cookie.
It really does.
Yeah, the nuances definitely the nuances went away. If I hadn't read the description first, my first impression was was cake, like birthday cake, chocolate birthday cake.
Cookie puss.
A cookie puss.
Yes.
Absolutely
Yes.
a cookie
That's
puss.
a thing?
It smells like walking into
Carvel.
36 flavors.
Yeah.
Baskin Robbins.
Thank you.
32,
Which
actually.
does not do cookie
Right?
puss.
36?
No, but they have ice cream cake. It's
They
the same
do,
thing.
yeah. But then it very much tastes like Oreo. Bevo, do you love this beer?
I want it on ice cream.
Yeah.
I want coffee in it.
And yeah, all of these. So this beer is way too sweet for me. And by that I mean I would never order this beer if I read about it. Actually, I would never order this beer if somebody told me about it. But because I need to taste all the beers on the show, I'm glad I did because I love this beer. I would never drink a beer this sweet, but it's so good. And you're right, though. Let's go back to those ingredients you mentioned first, just so people can follow. But maple syrup, blackstrap molasses, black lava salt, a solid Imperial Porter as a base. But all of those nuances do kind of give way to Oreo cookie, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When you say a shit ton of, you just bought it, how many bags of Oreo cookies were in this tank before the beer went on top?
We'll put it this way: because you can't unfortunately order some of these things like in bulk from like wholesalers. So like we go to Costco or our local grocery, right? And they see us coming. They're
yeah.
What are you fools brewing this week?
There's the Adroit guys. Yeah.
So a lot. It's literally a little over a pound per gallon. So that's a lot. 300 pounds of Oreos.
Right.
In a 2-barrel fermenter, how much beer did you actually fit in there?
Well, in a 2-barrel, what would that be, 62? Yeah, so quite a bit. It soaks up quite a bit of beer. It smells great in the brewery when we do it. But
did you taste the cookies after?
It's a little bit, you'd think they'd be awesome. They're a little gelatinous,
that makes sense.
Sitting in liquid. But at the end of the day, it's delicious, and that's the idea. We try to make awesome beers every day, but then we also like taking awesome beers and making them more awesome by adding things that we love from our childhood.
Right.
So Oreos is right in the crust. I mean, we have a series of beers that we call Drink, which is Hawaiian Punch inspired beers that taste exactly like Hawaiian Punch. There's no nuance, there's no subtlety, but guess what? It tastes just like Hawaiian Punch.
I love it.
That was the goal. That was the idea, If you want to taste the beer by itself, we have it by itself, and it's an awesome beer.
I really like this because a lot of times on this show we kind of have to say, well, now I see what you did with the Oreos, but you made it subtle enough so that we don't. And you're like, no, we like Oreo cookies, and so we made a beer
to taste like
Oreo. Yeah,
I don't want it to be subtle.
Just own it. Right. Yeah, like had I said that, you'd have been the one guest who was like, hey, fuck off. We didn't want subtle. It tastes like Oreo cookies.
Oh, you think it's subtle? Yeah. Oh, well, send it back.
Yeah.
A sledgehammer to the head is kind of the goal.
Yeah. This is level 1 of the Oreo cookie stout.
Yeah, this is level
3. 3 pounds.
Level 3 is just an Oreo cookie.
You should bring that up. We actually did double stuff version of this beer.
That's what I was going to say. I forgot about the double stuff. And you did.
It actually was too much. It was too much.
Yeah.
It was too much. It was almost. It was too much.
See, that makes sense because double stuffed, well, by name, I'm going to state the obvious right now. It's not more cookie; it's more sugar filling.
Right. And that's honestly
Fat
what I get more of out of this. I get more of the cream filling than the actual cookie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's leftover. I don't know if this might be too complicated or too technical question, Mark, but when you put this beer onto all this sugar base, does it kick up a fermenter, or do you add like potassium sorbate to get rid of the yeast out of it? Because a lot of the sweetness in this seems to be the filling that's making it sweet, not like malt or alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, the base beer, has, a little bit of residual sweetness in it because it has maple syrup and blackstrap molasses in it, and, it's a big beer. But the adjuncts obviously add just a copious amount of sugar, which is, re-fermentation is a huge concern at that stage, given the levels that we're talking about. We designed this beer to be drank within a week of us packaging it up. That was the whole idea, right? This is not some long-term beer to put on the shelf and sample a year from now. But yeah, there's quite a bit of sugar. The diabetes come at no extra charge.
Yeah.
Well, I always have Oreo cookies in my pantry.
You do,
and a sip of this is like putting like 5 cookies worth of flavor. It's just so. It's a great way to get Oreo cookie flavor without all the extra time.
See, I don't ever eat dessert. I've said this sometimes before. I just don't. But I would have this beer for dessert. I would have this for dessert. Right. I mean, if this was on the menu at every restaurant I went to, I would always order it after dinner, I think.
Yeah.
But you don't like tiramisu?
Nope.
That's a boozy dessert.
Yeah. Too boozy, though.
Oh.
I think. I just don't do dessert. Yeah.
Yeah, it can get pretty boozy.
Boozy?
It can be.
Yeah.
It's full of coffee, I thought.
And alcohol.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alcohol,
No wonder
cream,
I
and
like
coffee.
Yeah. He's right. It's good. So now you mentioned re-fermentation. Let me make sure I'm understanding the process here. So this would be a beer that comes back to you fermented. So a complete beer on the cold side, and then you put it into a bright tank on top of the Oreos, right?
Correct.
And you're also saying, it's not a shelf life beer. Like we try to get rid of it fast. But let's just say you didn't get rid of it fast. Is there a real risk for re-fermentation, or do you have to make sure that they centrifuge or filter every bit of yeast out? What do you do?
Well, first of all, I mean, we do centrifuge not all of our beers, but almost all of our beers are centrifuged, and the vast majority of them are filtered as well, which most breweries at our size aren't doing because they just don't have that equipment. That said, when you start adding a bunch of stuff, particularly after the fact, re-fermentation is a concern. So if it's kept cold, it's less of a concern, but it's still occurring just on a slower scale. And, you don't want customers to do that. So, we do try to put warnings on everything we do. And like if you come to the brewery, which is really the only place you would buy a beer like this, it comes literally with a tag dangling off of the neck of the bottle that says, keep cold, drink it immediately, do not settle to this, do not do all these things that people do. At the end of the day, though, it can happen. It's just, it is what it is.
Is this beer centrifuged?
It is.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how you got the cookie out.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
There's still quite a bit of cookie in there.
Every part of me wants to hate this beer. I just, it's against everything I would normally drink.
You can't drink a pint, right?
I think I could.
All you do is
really? I'm telling you.
Wow. You could drink a pint of this.
I think I could. I really like it. And
I could go get you a pint glass.
I'm telling you, there are things firing off in my brain because it's so outside of what I would normally, that are saying no. But my palate is saying yes.
What?
For 16 ounces.
16 whole ounces.
I can do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Right now.
Do I have to?
Yes.
I will.
You said it.
I would like to see if you can.
Okay.
And to see how long it would take you.
It's going to be 16 plus 4, right? And that's what I just had. So it's going to end up being 20 ounces.
Do 8 and see where you stand. See, predict where you can.
All right, I have a water glass here. I can finish
I think the maple syrup and the blackstrap molasses actually do quite a bit for helping back up the white cream part of the Oreo in this, because to me more of the black cookie part came through in the aroma, but in the flavor I was getting a lot more of like the rich vanilla mapley flavors.
Yeah, that's about 14 ounces, 12 ounces, right?
Oh, yeah.
Plus the 4 in my glass.
Well, no, that's what I mean.
Now
right,
I'm at 16.
Yeah.
It looks a lot thicker when you pour it yourself. I'll tell you that. Like
you did have to take a spoon and kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time we do a Stiefel competition, that's going to be in your Stiefel.
God.
I'm also going to become a diabetic just after this program. It's really good, and I'm surprising myself. Because every other part of my brain is saying, what's wrong with you? But my palate just loves it.
I am jealous of your big glass there, right? For sure.
See?
Maybe
if you can't finish it, let me know.
Then there's some extra.
Maybe you should try eating an Oreo.
Oh, that would be ridiculous.
No. Oreos are full of chemicals. Do you know?
Oh, okay.
A scoop of ice cream, that's what you want on the side.
That would be nice, a little vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
For the not dessert guy.
I think it's wonderful. All right, Mark, I'm going to keep drinking it, so we'll report back if I finish this thing.
Well, like I feel like you've been converted. I feel like
you might have, or rather than converted, you've now set the bar where I can now say, "Oh yeah, I like sweet beer, but don't make it taste like shit." So,
does this count as a pastry stout? Because that's kind of the new trendy stout category.
Sure. What category at the Great American Beer Festival or World Beer Cup would this go in?
Other.
Just other.
We don't win a lot of medals, as you can imagine. Our beers don't fit nicely into preconceived notions, but
so they all go under other.
Other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, to be frank with you, I mean, my view on it is, like there's classically brewed beers that are beautiful and nuanced and subtle, and you can dive deep on those beers. And then there's beers that are fun, and we make some, nice two-style beers, but we also make beers that are fun that remind you of how things were back in the 80s, when we imagined this.
Yeah.
When our pants were zebra print.
That's right.
And they Velcroed at the top.
Yeah. And our cars were Camaros.
Bitchin' Camaro.
I like this attitude of yours, and it came out even in the smoothie beer, where you just kind of said, look, that one's step one, and some of our beers you need a spoon. Whereas other breweries who come in here, they try to defend what they're, what I'm saying, though. Oh yeah, we have a hazy beer, but don't worry because we do it like this, and we do whereas I just kind of like your attitude where you go, no, yeah, it's pretty hazy and thick, and you might want a spoon.
Well, I decided the day we started that I wanted as many people to like us as humanly possible, but I also wanted as many people to hate us as humanly possible. I think if it's right around 51 to 49, that's a good ratio.
There you go. No, one day you can go into politics then.
Yeah,
good job.
Those are voting numbers.
Yeah. Before I forget, looks like you got a couple of events coming up that I want to make sure that we mention.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so we will be 5 years old in January of next year, 2019, and we're throwing an epic 5-day party for ourselves. And we've invited a lot of our friends that we've brewed beer with. And what's nice is, unlike some festivals where they just bring one beer, we've invited them to bring 12 beers. So it's nice in that regard. But the Dia beer that you sampled, we have 11 different types of barrels aging that beer, and we're releasing them all over that 5-day period. So it should be a pretty fun party. Wow. And it's in the middle of January, and there ain't jack shit going on, so come on down.
Damn.
That's a good time to do it.
Yeah, right.
What about Metal and Beer Fest? Where's that?
Oh, my fucking Jesus. You guys into metal? I heard the audition. But we are pouring beer at Decibel Magazine's Metal and Beer Fest, which is in L.A.
Okay.
We did it in Philly this past spring, and this is their first time on the West Coast, and they invited us, and we will be there pouring some ridiculous beers.
Nice.
And listening to both death metal and black metal.
Love it.
When is that?
First week of December. I think it's December 1st and 2nd.
How do I go to that? I'm 6 hours away from it.
JP's writing it down right now.
Yeah, you need to get on that, dude. So, yeah, we're coming out. We're brewing a beer with Bird, which is in L.A., and I think King's Brewing, which is in La Cucaran, somewhere. Anyway, it's in that vicinity, and we're going to this festival. It's pretty cool. I mean, there's 20, big
Testament,
death metal, black metal, doom metal, thrash metal bands, and it's a 2-day festival. And True and Burial and Three Floyds and all those cool cats will be there, and we'll be there too.
Testament it looks like they're headlining.
Okay.
Triptychon,
Black Dahlia Murder,
Black Dahlia,
but
Pig Destroyer,
Trappist
East Coast Love.
Oh, and so Jay, you missed the Trappist news. So Trappist is formed by a few dudes in metal, kind of like thrash punk bands.
Yeah,
but it's just they do songs about craft beer.
Really?
That's it. Yeah. They're from L.A. and it's rad.
That's hilarious.
I like it. It's pretty good. So that sounds rad, dude. Three Weavers, Phantom Carriage.
Yeah. Good events.
Yeah, that sounds dope.
All right,
We'll be
folks. So Adroit Theory will be there. You can go to adroit-theory.com and check it out. You can see all the beers that we've been talking about and learn more about where they are and how to get them. And then, of course, you can find them at those two events. Dawn of the Dark Day, their 5th anniversary, which is in January. 5 days of party. And then Metal and Beer Fest in Los Angeles, which sounds like maybe you'll run into JP there, too.
Man,
what's up, JP? I'll see you there.
Take me along, dude. Let's go. I fit in small luggage.
There you go. All right. Hey, Mark, thanks so much for being on the show and sending this awesome beer. It was really good.
Hey, I appreciate you guys' time. Glad you guys took the time, and I appreciate the conversation.
We enjoyed it very
Absolutely.
much, and we hope to hear more from you. I can't wait for the day that I do see one of your beers on the Great American Beer Festival stage or the World Beer Cup stage, because I do think they're awesome, and I'll know when you finally decided to enter the other category.
Other.
Yeah.
The
All right, brother. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
All right, man.
All right, there you go. And that's Mark Osborne from Adroit Theory Brewing Company. Once again, adroit-theory.com. I do recommend you go check out these beers, especially if you're in the area there in Virginia. You should check them out. Sounds like you can get them in Washington, too. They sent us some one-off, so we'll go to the Metal Fest in L.A.
Dude, yeah.
Did we just talk to one of Ozzy Osbourne's kids and just not even mention it like we did with Robert Plant?
That was Mark Osborne.
The non-douchey one.
Yeah. Hey, just drop the accent for the show.
Did a great job there.
I'm not sure I'm going to finish this.
You got 2 ounces into that.
I am
thing.
still enjoying it. I'm
Yeah.
still going, but I can feel the slowing.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, I know. And
But it was
so
so
that's
tasty.
But that's the difference between it's enjoyable and I could drink a pint of it.
Well, but it needs a companion. Like, I need a scoop of vanilla ice cream right now.
Or, you know what?
Or an insulin shot.
Well, whatever.
Like 3 fingers of bourbon or like a weird rum.
Oh, so just clear it up a little bit?
Well, like on
I
the
thought
side.
you guys had alcohol here.
We have gin.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not gonna help.
No, gin will not help with that.
What are you trying to do to yourself right now?
Finish
Also,
the
when I
show.
picked
It's
it
a
up-
stressful week.
When I picked it up and I looked in the glass, I was like, why is there like an oil coating on the top of it? And then I realized it's from the Oreo cookies.
Yeah,
It's from the
filling's
of
half
the
fat, half fat.
Oreo cookie.
Oh, yeah. You
Yeah,
can
there was
see
no
it.
head on
Shortening
it.
and sugar.
You can see it.
Yeah,
in
there's
there.
no head on it.
I'm still enjoying it. I'm not giving up.
Want me to get your straw?
Give me a dollop of ice cream. I think we have that back there.
Oh, but we don't have ice?
Ice cream.
We just
Take the
have
cream
ice
out of
cream.
the ice. Let's
Yeah.
go already. Yeah, it's a good beer. I couldn't do a pint of it, and I would be completely shocked if you managed to finish
Right.
a pint of that.
I enjoyed the taster.
I mean, I can finish it, but I'm trying to finish it while I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm not gonna, I could certainly force it down to win
Right.
the whatever.
But I think you would-
the point was, like, would I enjoy 16 ounces?
I agree,
Yeah.
but I think if you forced it down, you
Right.
would see it in a hurry.
It'd be
because
like
it
the
is
chugging
thick.
milk thing.
Yeah, well, it is
Yeah.
really thick, and it is very sweet. And I think, at least for me, my mind would be like, "Oh my god, I have this gurgle of thing," and I would release it again.
Right.
And as long as you stay looking at JP, that's fine. You can go
Right.
ahead and chug that.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah, well, you mean obviously this beer would never be served by the pint. That'd be what kind of establishment would do that?
Right.
So what do you think would be a better pour size now? 8 ounces, 10 ounces?
I think a 10 ounce
10 ounce?
because I had I'm not done with it yet.
You might be about 8 in right now.
I had a little 4. I've had another couple, and I'm not done. I definitely can drink some. So I think a good 8 to 10, right? Yeah, somewhere around there. And with food, I think Bevo makes a good point that if you that's why I said if this was on the dessert menu of my favorite restaurants, I would always order an 8 to 10 ounce glass. I think it'd be great.
Oh, yeah, paired with the right dessert.
Yeah.
You could easily make
something
it.
salty, too.
No, as my dessert. I don't need it paired
No, you
with
don't
dessert.
need
I
something
literally
salty.
want to have a nice meal, and then this is my dessert.
Okay.
But I
4
could see
ounces and a
others.
cigar.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to light up right now in the studio.
Hell yeah.
That would help. Yeah, it's really good.
4 ounces and an amyl nitrate.
I love anal nitrate.
Were you
the kind
serious
that
about that ice
explodes.
cream? Because I could do that for you.
No. But maybe get some for everybody. Maybe everyone will have a little
Yeah,
ice cream.
maybe
I don't
someone
know.
else wants ice cream, Bev.
Was I talking to anybody else?
All right. Quick break. And also, go visit greatfermentations.com. Great Fermentations has the largest catalog of Blickman products on the web, and their staff is some of the best trained in the business using Blickman products. They have top-notch customer service and same-day shipping on so many items. Check them out at greatfermentations.com. And be sure to like them on Facebook at GR8 Fermentation and find them on Instagram and Twitter as well under the same handle. They're also great people who take care of us, so make sure you do that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I've got to do a little hazy beer discussion from the feedback.
That's correct.
We've got to wrap up our Twitter game.
Also correct.
I've got to finish this beer.
Triple correct.
Yeah. You got about a perfect 10-ounce pour
We got
in your glass right now.
We got lots more happening. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending mash and boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to brews their vast selection.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's The Session.
All right, hey, thanks for sticking with us. Thanks to Adroit Theory Brewing Company, forgive me, and Mark Osborne for being on the show. We asked at the break if we were even speaking to one of the Osborne kids and didn't even know it. Mark just didn't.
We still don't know.
Didn't call it out.
We still aren't sure.
I think that was on the show also.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I missed that.
I missed that too. All right. Well, let's just take care of White Labs then while we're here.
Do it.
If you're looking for a more in-depth knowledge of yeast, like it sounds like Adroit Theory had, join White Labs November 5th and 6th for their Yeast Essentials 2.0 in Asheville, North Carolina. It's a 2-day workshop where you can explore fermentation control points, tips for maintaining optimal yeast performance, and how to develop desired yeast flavor compounds. But if you can't make it to Asheville, that's no problem. They're also offering a webinar version. So just register by... Oh, you just missed early bird pricing, that's all.
That's right.
You missed early bird pricing. That was by October 6th. We've been telling you. But you can still go register. Learn more about the event by going to whitelabs.com/education. That's whitelabs.com/education. The class is happening November 5th and 6th. I don't know if I'm going to finish the beer. I'm trying. But the goal was to finish it while I enjoy it.
While you enjoy it. You definitely don't want to drive the enjoyment out of it. Yeah.
Bevo did get me some vanilla bean ice cream at the break, and it pairs. It's wonderful.
It's technically gelato.
It is?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I don't know.
Did she tell you that, or you were just saying that?
No, it's from your bar. Your menu told me that.
I don't fucking remember.
I don't have a bar. What are you talking about?
Yeah, somebody else has a bar that I have a studio in and used to collect checks from. So we opened another one. Anyway, it's good with the ice cream.
Do you want my
with the gelato? No. Okay. I'm not even going to finish my gelato. The flies are. But,
man, they're just eating. They're going to town.
Yeah.
It's a buffet over here.
I've never seen gelato where the vanilla beans have wings. It's really weird.
It's that Red Bull gelato.
All right, we were going to do a little feedback segment.
Yes.
Part 2 because of the New England IPA topic. So we got 2 emails in about it, and one of them was a description that I wanted to read. The first one, Aaron, was that I just wanted to touch on a subject I hear about all too often on this show, which goes back to what you said, JP.
Tell me. Talk to me, baby.
Well, you say, we don't bring it up. You guys bring it up. Yet, in the comment, in the backhanded sort of, hey, let's talk about this, but it's not my fault, talk about this, he says, a topic that is all too often on the show. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to include all too often, wouldn't you then not continue with the topic of New England IPA?
You would think, especially
you'd stop. It's not just too often.
It's all too often. Well, especially if the point of the email is to criticize how often the topic that's all too often is being brought up.
Yeah.
You're perpetuating.
Once he typed that out, he should have just held the delete key.
So we're going to leave
this. His request would have been granted.
It's like time unravels at the base of insanity colliding with reality to create catastrophic spirals. I think I did it right. It's pretty good. I'm going to audition for Nate's band.
All right, so listeners, just so you know, you're in control. The topic will go. The topic will go away when the topic goes away.
When you go away. And then
anyhow, he says, touch on the subject that's all too often on the show. Yeah. I would have to go ahead and agree with JP about them being their own category and not in the IPA category.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, these are great beers when made correctly and bad when exactly like a yeast slurry with subtle lingering stuff. He says, I really love new categories in beer, but they need to be treated right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I guess. All of you. It's just beer. On that note, I had a New England IPA from a brewery that's local to my state, and it lacked haze. Had absolutely no hop flavor and was way too clear to be called a New England IPA. If the style is going to be BJCP certified, people need to do it correctly. Thanks for reading. I hope I made my point. Did the BJCP add it? I thought just the BA added it.
I think the BA added it, but I imagine BJCP has it.
It might have.
Yeah, now it's a World Beer Cup and GABF category.
Yeah,
officially.
So, he says, thanks for reading. Hope I made my point from Aaron.
Yeah, he made his point. And really, all I care about, I don't give a shit what breweries call it, but when I go to a bar and I order something and it's not what it is, then that bothers me. It doesn't. IPA is just the topic du jour that we're picking on. But brown ales, it could be fucking pale ales. We talk about pale ales actually a lot too. That's all I care about. Beer is really, really expensive right now. It's $7-8 a pint.
Yeah.
If I'm going to throw down $8 of Taryn's hard-earned money, I want to know what I'm getting. That's all. That's really all it comes down to.
Yeah. I thought his main point was JP's right.
Well, honestly, I stopped listening after. And I just assumed what I was right.
Yeah, his point's well taken. It should be its own style.
Yeah.
So there's no confusion on the menu. That's obviously not an IPA.
What would it be called? If New England what?
It's called New England IPA.
New England beer.
But that is what it's called.
But it's not an IPA.
But they don't put it in the menu that way. They don't say it's an IPA. They don't say whether it's hazy or not.
Okay, I see.
They change the name to any IPA. Yeah.
I understand your point. JP's point is even further that IPA shouldn't even be included. So just for fun, I'm thinking what else would it be called?
New England style hazy pale ale.
New England
or high gravity pale ale. It's a high gravity.
Why not like New England juicy beer, hazy beer, just beer? Like instead of one of the other things.
I said ale. New England style hazy ale.
Ale.
There you go.
Yeah,
hazy pale,
take out
hazy,
pale.
Hazy. Now, of course.
Some of them
are
IPAs.
different levels of alcohol.
Right.
It's like a pale ale and IPA.
Some of them are IPAs.
Right. They need their own double haze or something, whatever.
American Black Ale kind of became the catch-all for black IPA. And when IPA became kind of not a vogue to be called black IPA.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, I don't care.
Okay, so here's the novel that was written in, which actually gives some history. Now, I have not vetted this history. I just found it fascinating.
Yeah, this could be the Weekly World News of history. I have no idea.
But this person says, this person has no name.
Carlo.
Okay.
Should be down there. He's like a long time. We've met him a few times.
Oh, like Carlo?
Carlo.
Oh, there it is. Keep up the good work, Carlo. This is Carlo.
Speaking of way back in the day.
Carlo's great.
Yeah, Carlo's a good dude.
I miss Carlo, actually. He was always... You know what I like about Carlo? He's nice.
Massages?
Like, everyone else comes up and they're like, hey, you fucking douchebag. They're all trying to be nice, too. Yeah. But Carlo, okay. It's nice to hear from you, Carlo, and you'll be glad to know I did not throw away your novel of an email like I normally do. But he says, Brewing Network crew, I've really enjoyed the last few shows discussing the hows and whys of New England IPA. But I think there's one thing that continues to be overlooked, and that's the history of how and why we got here. So, he says, in the past, when someone was trying to make an IPA like Pliny, there was a consistent misuse of hops and malt. We always read on the bottle or on the menu that, quote, this IPA is backed by a deep malt bill to balance the massive amount of hops we added to this powerful beer. He says this was a huge mistake, resulting in gross malt bombs that were just bitter messes. Hence the term we hear today to besmirch West Coast IPA, the IBU wars. There was no war, just an inability to make hoppy beers that weren't overly bitter. Back then, brewers didn't understand how to make a hop bomb without a massive amount of crystal malt. Strange, because Vinny Cilurzo from Russian River Brewing Company came on the show a few times and told us all exactly how to do it. After years of trying to make an IPA that was less aggressive, a couple of breweries back east came up with the idea of reverse engineering the beer and completely changing it in every way. From the chloride to sulfate ratio to the use of oats, wheat, and Pilsner malt. Not to mention removing all the hops from the boil, even purporting that dry hopping during primary fermentation created a biotransformation that creates hop aroma and flavor unachievable in any other way. And of course, he then says there is no scientific proof of this. But this all equals a soft, white, gentle, fruity, or juicy beer with a clean, sweet finish. Not an IPA at all, he says. Like you, JP.
Yeah.
Truly, he says, the white Zinfandel of beer. They taste and look like mimosas, so of course they love them. He says, the long and short of my point is brewers struggled to make a great IPA in the past, and they still do. And that is how and why we got here, in my view of the brewing history, he says. Exceptions include, but not limited to, Faction, Knee Deep, Russian River, Port Brewing, Avery, Dust Bowl, Heretic, Boneyard, Society, Altamont. They all seem to be killing it with West Coast IPAs. They were able to make the West Coast IPA, he says. Mm-hmm. But it was the ones who couldn't make that that then tried to make this other form of not IPA, according to Carlo. Keep up the good work, Carlo from Sonoma. Been brewing he says, home brewer for 25 years, craft brewer enthusiast, and he's been a listener since the very first episode. I like his description of this.
I think it's good. I don't
know if it's accurate. But
that was the most polite excusing inept brewing practice that I've ever heard.
Our focus.
I don't think he was excusing it.
He was saying, well, they were trying and they missed. So this is what they came up with.
Well, you could read it that way. I don't think they felt that they missed it. He felt that they missed it. I don't think that the breweries he was pointing out would have said, well, shit, we can't brew we suck at brewing West Coast IPA, so let's do this. I think he was just saying, like, well, what if we reverse engineer something? Anyway, they kept thinking that they were doing it right and ended up with sweet beer. Mm-hmm. So they were like, well, let's do something different then.
Yeah.
In other words, I don't think they felt they missed it. I think they felt like they did it right, but they didn't like the beer. They just felt it was too sweet anyway.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think it's more complicated than just a one reason. That's probably some of it from some people. Other people, maybe they were brewing West Coast IPAs but didn't care. Maybe they were brewing West Coast IPAs that their customers cared about, but they saw the draw in this new style to get more people in. Who knows?
But I think there's something to his point where he says his quote here is, "You would always read on the bottle, this IPA is backed by a deep malt bill to back up the copious amounts of hops that we put in."
Right.
And I think that's a great point. And I used to buy into that too, right? I'd be like, "Oh, well, of course."
Why wouldn't you do that?
Of course you have to do that. Right. But then we just sort of discovered over time that, well, actually it didn't really have to be that crazy, and it actually made for a bad beer. So I like that part, or I think that is part of our history. Whether or not it resulted in hazy IPAs, I guess we don't know.
It's part of the style, and that evolved out of the style, right? That was like, engineered out. And then the pure form of the IPA was able to shine through.
Yeah.
But it's still, reminiscent thereof. The cloudy IPAs are not at all. It's totally different, which is why, we just bag on them all the time, because it's not an IPA. If you like those beers, you don't like IPAs. They're a different fucking animal. Yeah. It's like
you might like both.
It's like saying a Helles is an IPA. It's not. But it's that same kind of.
Yeah.
For me, very black and white differences between the two, and that's that's really it. But,
what do you think about this historical description?
It's history. I don't know, man.
Right now,
some of the timings there, what came first, chicken or anything there. This was a question about. I think Carlos might have been whatever, kind of bringing
a little high.
No, I don't think he did. Bring a lot of stuff together into some sort of organization.
Okay.
He didn't mention Heady Topper, which to me would have been like.
He mentioned was
he said West Coast.
He did. He didn't mention people by name. He said what it was. After years, blah blah blah. A couple of breweries back east came up with the idea of reverse engineering, and I'm sure he was thinking of Heady Topper.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the reverse engineering thing meant, but okay.
Right.
Okay.
It made me
all right,
think
well, fuck you, Carlo. I don't know.
I don't want to tear his thing apart.
You tall, handsome prick. Yeah, get a scar on your face, you jerk.
I liked his theories, and who knows if they're accurate or not.
It made me think of the. You remember the brewery we had back when the studio was in Martinez, House of Pendragon?
Yeah.
They did the no bittering hop IPAs where it was all just Whirlpool and dry hop beers.
Yeah.
And they were super flavorful.
Yeah.
And just super juicy with. Even though the IBUs were theoretically there, it wasn't anywhere close to what you would associate with a normal West Coast IPA in relationship to the hop character. Mm-hmm. And it's just I feel like that would be the West Coast answer to being juicy and still clear and drinkable.
Gotcha.
I don't know if they're still doing it. If not, they should.
Right in House of Pendragon.
Yeah, the whole entire.
They weren't that far, right? Weren't they?
They were Fresno, Bakersfield.
That's
area,
what I thought. Yeah.
Somewhere down there.
With their name and their theme. But you're right. The beer was good.
Yeah.
All right, then that is our New England Hazy IPA discussion for today.
I think we bring that up
until
way too
next
much.
week.
Tune in next week when you hear zingers like drinkable hazy IPA. Ha ha! What a joke.
Right.
As if.
All right, Adam and Eve is determined to help you spice things up in the bedroom, so check it out. Go to adamandeve.com, get 50% off almost any item. Just enter coupon code BNARMY at checkout. And that's a good deal, but backed by popular demand is the free Big O kit, which includes an exclusive Climax gel and a... Oh, my God. Just go to fucking Adam. It's a mini vibrator and some free shipping and a bunch of things, and you're not going to buy toys anywhere else anyway. So just go to adamandeve.com. You know it, and I know it. Use coupon code BNARMY. That's BNARMY. Get all the stuff, and then you're going to get some free things, and just do that. All right, there we go.
Use the free things however you're going to use them.
Listeners, I know you get tired of the same commercials all the time. Imagine being me, okay? So sometimes you just get a little fed up. Just go to adamandeve.com and use the coupon code BNARMY.
Someone hasn't owed in a while.
The thoughts of Justin Crossley are no way, in any way, shape, or form, representative of the Brewing Network and the Brewing Network's sponsors and employees.
Yeah.
This message will self-destruct in 4 minutes.
Exactly. All right, what else do I have to do?
Twitter game.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
How'd that go?
It went pretty good.
I remember liking this one.
Oh, that's
Thank you
less
very much.
positive than in the beginning.
It went great. Should we do it now?
Yes.
Okay. Twitter game was, of course, give me one positive thing about a beer style that you don't like.
Got it.
Okay. Which I thought would be pretty hard. Rick Z, or possibly plural Ricks. I don't know.
Yeah. Could see how that would be a mix-up.
Ricks. He says, I never have to go see a farm. Instead, I just open up a saison.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. I like.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. Wow.
Hello.
Hi. That was weird. Aaron Gross said, Vienna is a nice city.
Okay.
How dare you? That loses.
Yeah, who doesn't like Vienna lager?
Right. Brian Craig says, Porter makes a good carpet cleaner. Hashtag, am I right, Justin?
Oh.
Yeah.
Douglas Nelson says, the good thing about brown ales is that JP doesn't hate them. So there's one less thing I have to hear him whine about every week. Which,
that's not bad.
He's sort of right.
Yeah.
Sort of
That one's, come on, that one's good.
Overly sweet.
I mean,
overly sweet, high alcohol brown ales are gross.
Yeah.
And I continue. Leah Kegi says, Gozes are a great style to introduce people who don't like the taste of beer to the world of beer.
Yeah, good point.
That's a very good point, I thought. Sudbury Homebrew says, not a fan of wheat beers, but if the wheat is subtle enough, it can be quite refreshing. It just doesn't happen often. There's a couple on the nose ones there. Yeah. Joshua Leshowski says, I hate pumpkin spice beers, but my lady drinks them, and she gets extra happy. Winky smiley face. It's a win for both of us.
I see where he's going with it. I like the undertone of that, so that's a good one. That one's in second place so far.
Yeah. Alex Cochran says, there's no beer style I hate if it's done well. How's that for positive?
That's positive.
But he did ask a question to end it with a period, so...
So you can turn an entirely positive comment into a negative.
Can you read that
JP?
more as a statement than a question?
JP just pointing out that he can always out negative your positive.
It's true, Alex.
Gonna win that game.
Yeah, fucker. El Bebo, which I imagine is Beverly, I don't know, says sours are a testament to the endless versatility of beer.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
I would believe
That's
that
nice.
one.
That's
That's one that if somebody said that, I would actually believe they liked sour beer.
On like a motivational poster with like...
Well, no, I'm saying like that's the, if you don't have anything nice to say, that's the epitome of it, because that person doesn't like sour beer, and I wouldn't know that by that comment.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, that's true. Right.
But stated.
Stated.
Arguably.
Basket Case said chili beer. I get to snack on tasty antacids after the heartburn sets in. And then finally, Alex says New England IPAs won't explode in my apartment. It's too late. It's 1 week old and already did.
Okay. That's all negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all,
sorry, Alex.
I think we can turn this into the backhanded compliment game.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh yeah,
and
sweet egg.
This could be a recurring theme here.
Right.
The backhand. It doesn't have to be on Twitter. We could even do it with our guests. We always just, do you want to play the backhanded compliment game, where they could give us backhanded compliments about their experience on the show.
That's true.
And we could give it to them about their beers.
About their beers.
And the listeners could decide who won, who was better at insulting the guest or the host with backhanded compliments.
Yeah.
So I do really like this theory.
Right.
Second of all, there's only one winner there. And that's the J.P. Brown. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Can you just read it again just as it was?
Just to make sure.
The good thing about brown ales is that JP doesn't hate them, so there's one less thing I have to hear him whine about every week.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Right, guys? Come on.
Douglas Nelson, there you go, buddy.
That's a winner.
Whoa, guy with two first names.
I'm sure you just won something we don't need around here
Get rid of that
in
shit.
the Brewing Network
Back that crap
closet.
up.
Yeah.
All your Red Bull disappeared.
It did. You know what? Actually, the day after the show where I announced it was all here, all but one case was gone the next morning when I came in.
Wow.
So my staff here that night was like, I'll take that.
You have a shady staff here.
I know, which I'm happy about. I mean, that's great. I just didn't realize they were such caffeine and other things junkies. Whatever else is in there.
I took a case.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I didn't know you were a Red Bull guy.
No, we were doing the 5-hour show for my Disney podcast, the Years Up show.
Okay.
And we were going to be broadcasting for 8 hours, and I was like,
was it a fundraiser? Were you guys doing a telethon?
It was our 5th anniversary. So fuck it. I was going to do a 14 hours is my idea.
Oh my god!
14 for charity.
Why did you
give
even
away
do 8?
stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to.
We had been way too drunk. Yeah. I mixed my Red Bull with wine.
Well, I had we did a 5-hour show, and then we all, for our Patreon supporters, we do a secret show where we drink and we mix a cocktail and we give the recipe and we do news and we kind of say the F word and it's a whole thing. So we did 3 hours of that, so it was 8 hours total.
Wow.
And I had a strict no drinking policy on the first 5 hours of the show because I needed everybody to be upbeat and processing and ready to go.
It's a long time to be
and
great.
that lasted about an hour and a half.
Of course, who can do a 5-hour show sober?
Of the 5 hours?
And then 4 hours, or an hour left on the show, Bev has a glass of wine and a Red Bull, and I'm sitting there talking, I see her processing, I see the wheels spinning, and she looks comically from one to the other, and then shrugs, and then pours the Red Bull into her glass of wine, swirls it, and drinks it.
It wasn't that bad. It was like a spritzer.
A spritzer.
A double wide spritzer.
What kind of wine was
also,
it?
it was boxed wine.
Red boxed wine.
Red boxed wine.
Wow.
Hey, that's a double wide sangria right there.
Dude, it was actually not bad.
Wow. Yeah, we got to get back to getting Bevo drunk on this show. Listeners used to have fun back then. Remember?
No.
Remember?
I remember. You remember, listeners? I remember.
All right. Are we done?
We're done.
Okay. Good job, everybody. And next week we are off. We've got our Concord Oktoberfest. So come on out to that. You can go to ConcordOktoberfest.com with a K, by the way. Oktoberfest.
German.
And you can buy your tickets there or just get them on site. It's 2 days. It's Friday the 12th and Saturday the 13th. We've got homebrew pouring on Saturday as well. German orchestra. It's going to be a great time. So come out and do that. Today's show is underwritten by the city of Concord. It's the perfect place to start or expand your craft beer business. Concord is centrally located in the Bay Area. It boasts strong craft beer loving demographics. The city's historic downtown is experiencing a boom with new businesses opening and new apartment developments in the pipeline. I can attest to all this. It's all true.
I see it.
Concord's business and industrial parks are centrally located off major freeways and are perfect for large-scale brewery operations. So if you're looking to open a brewery, the city's economic development team is ready to help you find a successful location to meet your business needs and help you through the permitting process. Give Brian Nunnally a call at 925-671-3018, and he'll be ready to help you. That's 925-671-3018, 925-671-3018. Come open a brewery in Concord. Do it for me, for God's sake. We need more here. All right. I think that's it for me. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. I will be back, and hopefully we'll see you at Oktoberfest, too. Are you ready to take us out, JP?
Yes, please.
I'm so glad. Thank you.
Thank you to our sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Mark Osborne from Adroit Theory Brewing sent us 4 beers, and only one was an IPA. Check them out and their crazy beers over at Adroit-Theory.com. Join JP, Beverly, Terrence, and Tarrant for Ears Up Podcast over at earsuppodcast.com if you like Disneyland and whatever. Get on Twitter for some good beer insight and homebrew info. Follow Nate Smith and Nathan Homebrew. Mike McDola, Tasty McD. Warren is stuck over at Another Beardy. JP knows Twitter is dead, so he's on Instagram at Major Jip because the Russians aren't on Instagram, you guys. And you can find Bevo there as well at Beverly Moore. Be sure to find the Brewery Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does great as his chair.